Tottenham away. When we got Tottenham away. Tottenham away. When we got Tottenham away.
We are back. We are back. Welcome, folks, to the show. To everybody watching it up. Tottenham at home beats Fulham 2-0, which is not for everyone. That's right, Arsenal fans. Beating Fulham at home, keeping a clean sheet is not for everyone, especially a full-strength one. Don't feel bad. Don't feel bad at all. We solidify, Iggy, we solidify our position at the top of the table. We are now 2 points clear of Manchester City. How you feeling? How you feeling to be top of the table in the almost the end of October?
Normal service resumes, right?
Yeah.
Listen, guys, like I said, look, real talk. I said, that the first game back after the internationals is always an awkward one. You don't know how everybody's coming back to the club football and what have you, depending on how they've all got on with their respective nations. But listen, tonight was we started off really well. I have to say, the first 45, we started off really well. We were aggressive. We were winning the ball. It was up high. We was putting them under pressure, and the goal eventually led on the 35th minute. That pressure eventually, from them losing the ball, we won it back, and that got to go from that. And then from then, it just looked, we completely and utterly dominated. We should have been out of sight by the time half time came. But it was only 1-0, and I said, let's try and hit them with a second within the first 10, 15 minutes. And we did that, thankfully. We did that. Although we didn't start the second half great, we managed to get that second goal. And that kind of just gave us a bit more like a blanket cushion, and with a nice little gap between us and them. And then it was just a case of maybe just being patient, waiting for the third goal. Or wait for the opening for the third goal, which didn't come. And with the changes that we made, and maybe we got a little bit, certainly we got a little bit sloppy. With the changes that we made, we kind of allowed them a little bit more time on the ball, possession on the ball, and allow them to have one or two opportunities, although they weren't incredibly ridiculous. There's still opportunities, but that was smothered by Vicaria. But in the end, it was light work. It was really light work. I know people are going to say, Fulham are rubbish, Fulham are trash. We never give credit.
I mean, they drew the title contenders 2-2 at home. How trash can they be?
No, but what I'm saying is, you never enough credit. I know where you're going. I know what you're doing. But at the same time, we have to give credit to the team that's taking the points, man. You have to. Spurs were much better tonight than Fulham in the whole context of the game.
All right, for 80 minutes, dude, it was easy sailing in my opinion, right?
Yeah,
there was one or two opportunities where they put some balls that didn't really challenge Vicario, who handled them well, by the way. I mean, they weren't I would say, half chances, maybe in on goal a little bit, and then, had to be at full speed because they were being chased and didn't put in a quality finish. But definitely need more depth, I think, especially out on the wide and stuff like that. But we've got 122 people right off the jump. That's more than we actually had in the watch along. Make sure you are hitting that like button. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already as well. But looking at the performances today, who would you say was your man of the match? Who was Iggy's man of the match today? It's a tough one. It's a tough one because there weren't any really outstanding performances, but there weren't any really bad ones either.
I don't know. I liked our two centre backs today. I have to say,
Yeah, Christian
Madison.
Romero looked great again today.
Yeah, Madison always. You can see his importance in the match. Son had a good game as well. I didn't really like our wide players that much today. In midfield, yeah, Saar, I have to give Saar a mention. I thought he was really good in some of the recoveries. But
Going forward, I think he was a little bit missing. Went missing a
no,
little
the
bit today.
recoveries. I enjoyed his defensive work tonight. But yeah, I like the two centre backs. You can take your pick between Van der Ven and Romero. I just thought they were too solid, but maybe Romero just edged it a little bit overall in the game. I don't know if you feel the same, but I'll probably give it to one. Just because they kept it really tight at the back there.
I thought Pedro Porro for me was pretty good too.
Yeah, they were.
Yeah.
Listen, I don't think anyone really run clear with it, but I think. Listen, if you have to pick one, I think Matters for me. It always makes the difference. I think he was. He got his goal. He was always. He's always involved in all our attacks. So I think I think Romero. I think that it's got to be between Romero, Van der Ven, and Madders. For what I saw tonight and tonight's game.
Yeah, I think up front you got Son and Madison. I think Madison probably did, even though he only had one goal, probably had more
involvement in the
more influence, I guess you could say.
Yeah.
Son obviously with the best GA on the day. Another goal and assist for him. I think it's his first assist of the season. So that's good. Madison now on what? He's got 3 goals, 5 assists.
Edward saying Vicario, because you know what, Vicario was attentive. He was. You can see he's very focused on the game because he's only really got involved in two situations. He's made both saves. He gets gassed whenever he sees players doing real defensive work, like with that SARS clearance where he took the ball off.
He made a couple silly mistakes today, though, that we haven't seen since preseason.
In possession, he was a bit sloppy. So, and he got us a yellow card, which is a bit, yellow card for wasting time. I mean, it's just.
Yeah, but we've got a chat here from Loboleto. He says Madison and Yokshim Jengida, which means Madison is selfish. I think they're talking about the one that he took off Son's foot right there at the end.
No. It's you know what, you have two players there that want to score goals and they want to create goals, and to be honest with you, they've worked really well together so far. That was just a misunderstanding where one thought he was going to do the other, and they both thought exactly the same thing, and it happens. It happens sometimes.
Yeah, it does happen sometimes. A little bit of communication. Madison's like, shoot, and someone's like, it was mine. And yeah, look, we easily could have won that game 3-4-0. The chances were there for sure. And it is what it is, really, I guess. But 2-0.
Comfortable. It was like work tonight. Honestly, it really was. It was like work.
We got a guest come on here. We got Lee's here. Big up, Lee.
Evening, gents.
What were your thoughts about the game? What did you think? Who was your man of the match? And
I think
anything else you want to talk about?
Started off slow again. Really, really slow, and they weren't pushing onto us. I think it shows our frailties when the teams don't push onto us because we don't move that ball around. You didn't see barely any passes between Højbjerg, Van der Ven, or Romero in that little triangle in the first half at all, and that's where we missed Basuma 100%. But I think we played well in the first half. I'm just getting more frustrated than anything that we're not, finishing off these teams early. We should have had a couple of goals in the first half and finished it off, but. I think Vicario played well. I think he had a little bit of a wobble, couple of dodgy moments there, but overall he played all right. I think the defence was okay again. In some instances, most of Romero and Van der Ven, I think, played as they usually do. I think Udoji came off because that's a tactical thing because he's on the 4 yellow cards.
Yellow card.
Keeping him for Friday.
He wasn't actually. He didn't actually get a yellow card today.
No, he didn't. No.
But he's on 4, I think. But
how did Paulinho not get a yellow card tonight?
Dietrich's.
Yeah. I think
after 6 or 7 tackles, Iggy. I mean, the referee's got to say, "Come on." None of them.
I
were
think
real
he was very
clean
lenient
tackles
tonight.
either.
Right from the off, he was really lenient. We mentioned it with Will in the chat and earlier on, and he was quite lenient on quite a few of the challenges, and he could have gone the other way. Another game he would have gone the other way and started giving yellow cards out. But this game he allowed a few players to take a nibble here and there. But you're right, with Paulinho, I think he made about 3 or 4, and it just didn't.
Just totaling them up. Yeah. Should have been a yellow card, but you're right. But do you know what? I was going to come on and I was going to say, do you know what? Richarlison didn't do too bad tonight. Okay, he was all right. He wasn't amazing. Don't get me wrong. He was okay, but oh my god! I think it's like the 81st minute or something like that. Right, there's 10 minutes left. You know, there's going to be plenty of, well, I don't know where they got 7 minutes from, to be quite honest with you, but there's going to be some overtime as well. You know how quickly games can change. You only have to look at the Arsenal game yesterday and see how quickly things can change. And Richarlison does some stupid, I'm going to fucking control the ball on the sideline with my back like a twat, and then loses it. And I just that's it. You've lost all credibility right now. That is the most ridiculous thing I've ever seen. He's still got at least 15 minutes to go, and they could easily score 2 goals, and you're doing stuff like that. I mean, that's. I think Postecoglou was having a little bit of a what you fucking
when he stood like that.
What are you doing? Yeah, I just that done it for me. I was going to be his friend tonight.
The ball, just keeping retention of the ball in the last 10-15 wasn't. You can see that's one probably part of the game that we need to improve on. But we had made the changes, as many as we did tonight, and those changes didn't have the desired impact that I would have wanted.
We completely lost it in the middle of the field. They just put 2 walls up, and we just couldn't pass through them. And we didn't have that one player just to put that ball and just, you know what, let's just take one player on, and all of a sudden you're transitioning into a forward momentum when we just didn't have that with Højbjerg at all. So
I think
it's worked. Good result.
I think this game overall it was a good performance, but it massively highlighted our issues. I think. Something that we knew already, but this game kind of showed it again. And those 2 issues for me is that other than Son and Maddison, we don't have goal scorers in this team. And I feel like we had plenty of opportunities to absolutely like.
Kulusevski and Richarlison had 1 each.
Yeah, one. I think Kulusevski had like 2. There was this pass from Romero when Romero ran past past a couple of players, found himself in front of the penalty box, passed it to Kulusevski clean through. And Kulusevski today, I don't think he shot more than once. And I feel
there was one he had that 1-on-1, and you're just thinking, just dink it, and he squared it. He tried to square it to 2 players who were surrounded by Fulham players. You're just thinking, the one time we wanted you to just shoot at the goal, and he just kind of did that. And then Richarlison, the one I'm talking about, he was laid it on his plate by Son, and he skied it. You think he's on his right foot, ready for a curl, and he blazed it over the bar. And you're just thinking, you're right. Other than Maddison and Son, where are these goals going to come from?
But I mean, guys, it could have been a lot worse, right? Fulham could have gone down to 10 men, and we could have ended up drawing 2-2. I mean, it could have been a whole lot worse.
Will, if I could just finish my train of thought, right? That was one issue for me, and the second one was, and listen, this is something that we know already, but it's just tough to see it like play out, right? The second issue for me is that this bench is like, as soon as we made changes, I think Højbjerg today was okay. I was satisfied with his performance. I don't think he did anything particularly wrong. I think he did like a couple of good long balls, long switches to each side, and I think defensively he was actually quite good until he got tired. And then on top of that, we substituted Maddison, Son, Udoji, who else? Sar and one more, right? We made Richarlison. I didn't mind, right? But yeah, it's like as soon as we took those 4 players off and Bissouma wasn't there, this team completely falls apart. We couldn't string more than 5 passes together in a row. We couldn't like threaten them. We were constantly losing possession. And to be honest, I think Fulham can like say they were unlucky not to score at least one, in my opinion. And the last like 15 minutes of that game, I was sitting with my butt clenched on the sofa. It wasn't a pleasurable viewing. Up until the changes, everything, perfect, right?
Yeah, I don't disagree with you. I think Højbjerg had a solid game, but as I say, he had a good game for what he can do. But in terms of a change from him and Bissouma, you can see the difference it makes, and I think that's the clinical, because you see how many times how deep Maddison was coming. Sometimes he at one point I think he was literally at, like left back when Udoji went walking somewhere else. He went on a little country avenue ride or something. I don't know where he was. He's over on the right hand side, but he's dropping so deep because he didn't have that connection between the front and the back, and that's what they rely on. And I think when teams don't press us, it's harder to see that fluidity in the passing, because they just sat back on the first half and it was really hard to pass through the lines. But other teams are not going to do that, and I think he deliberately did that. He deliberately did that today. And it worked. And then we got the goal, and then we started passing it around a little bit better because they had to come on to us, because they needed to get back into the game.
I think we are reliant on, like, majority of the time we are reliant on carrying the ball out of the back instead of like spreading the passes, right? I think that's the job. Like Maddison can do that, and Romero and Van de Ven to an extent, right? But other than that, I think if you look at our previous games, it was like vast majority of the time Bissouma carrying the ball from the defense to the middle of the pitch, and then I think we are good in those like intricate, close space passes, triangles, whatever, right? But we aren't really creative with the passes, other than like a couple of players or a moment of brilliance from one of the players, like Poro, right? But I think we lacked it today with Højbjerg. And that's the point I wanted to make. I like, of course, there is a drop off from Bissouma to Højbjerg, right? But Højbjerg, I think he was solid today. I just, when I saw him, I was just, don't make any fucking clangers, right? Just be solid, and that's all I'm asking for, right? And then, fortunately, we got that from him today.
Guys, your thoughts? Welcome, by the way, both guys. Welcome to the post match. Your thoughts on the game, man? Whoever wants to start, Elias or
Elias was before me, so he's gonna go first.
Sure, go, my man. Give us your thoughts.
No, I think the game was great. I personally feel that if Bissouma would have started this game, I think we could have easily like nicked off like a 4-0, 5-0 victory, that sort of a thing, because we were missing that progressive passing from that Bissouma offers. And I pretty much, like, I won't say that this was the kind of games that we saw previously. Like, we really enjoyed the whole game. Like, I think there were times like we were a bit sloppy towards the end. I think it was kind of frustrating when we were like losing the ball very easily. I was kind of concerned back, but like towards the end, I was really concerned. Even I think when Chicken Royale came on, I was a bit concerned. But yeah, he had a decent performance, I would say. Like towards the end, when we lost the ball, and then there were like 2-on-1 situations, that kind of situations, he was like okay. He put in his body in front to like really block some shots. I think he had a decent game, and I don't really think that there was really someone who was like really bad today from Spurs side.
Yeah.
Can you guys think of like anybody who was like really bad? I can't.
Emerson Royale.
Emerson Royale, I think he was
Emerson
decent.
was bad. No,
Yeah, he was the
giving the ball away and making mistakes in the midfield.
Royale was bad today. Like
I
agree with Elias. He blocked, right? He blocked the shot, and like defensively,
he blocked the shot that he made the mistake for. That's classic Emerson Royale, right? Getting the tackle for you losing the ball.
The only thing I'll say that from the first 11, if I have to pick, I'll probably pick 2, because I felt not through their efforts. I don't condone them for their effort. I think they worked tirelessly. I think they worked for the team. I just felt the lack of quality in that final third from Kulizeski and Richarlison just wasn't quite there. So if I have to pick two, I would call them from the first 11. From the subs that came on,
Veliz was awful.
yeah, I mean, the forward is harder when you're talking about the attacker, because he's really feeding off whatever goes on behind him.
Yeah.
So I wouldn't, and he's a kid, so you have to give him a little bit more time. But you know, and Lo Celso didn't quite get into the game as much as well. But you're right, Emerson, Royale. I didn't really enjoy Skip. I didn't think he. Yeah,
Johnson did nothing.
Yeah, Johnson didn't really get into the game either. I just feel, and I said this with Will earlier on. I just feel like there's you can see the drop off happening, and I wasn't expecting that many subs to come on as they did, but maybe he wanted to make everyone feel part of this.
And also like a bit
this match, yeah, but
of a rest we had for 4 days, right? So
exactly. So I felt that there would be a drop off, and that's always been my concern. And so to then see it, it just reconfirms what I already had in my mind, that there is a massive drop off, and the way we play completely and utterly goes. And you can see that the last 10 minutes, even though we won the game and the game was quite comfortably in the bag, we didn't do the things which should be quite, at this level at least, should be quite basic. Get control of the game, management, control the game.
We messed around.
Game management. We messed about too much, and we gave Fulham conceding 1 or 2 good opportunities. They weren't amazing opportunities, but they were still good opportunities that really Raul Jimenez, a proper striker, buries that. Like, he really does not give us a goalkeeper a second chance. Ball on his right foot, he's got to hit it right. And that's a goal, man. If they've got a really good striker with confidence, 2-1 with 7 minutes then added on. Hey, it's quite
sticky for no reason.
Yeah,
I do want to play something just real quickly because I want to big up my friend Hassam here.
Fans?
No, not the Arsenal fans. This is Hassam. He's a Liverpool fan. I just want everybody to remember what he said over on Straight Facts earlier this week. So let's listen.
Spurs are falling off. There's an imposter amongst us, and it's definitely Tottenham Hotspur. They're falling off, bro. I don't think Spurs are gonna do anything, to be honest with you, this season. These next 4 or 5 games, they're gonna drop points 100%. Starting with Fulham this week. Fulham are gonna beat them in their own backyard.
So how did that go? How did that age, fellas?
It's honestly baffling for me how such a grown-up man can be so fucking childish. Like, I actually sometimes watch his content, but since that Liverpool game, he's been so butthurt. It's beyond me.
No,
I told him. So I was actually on a stream. I was on a stream with Hassam the other day. I think it was on Staffy's channel. And I told him, I said, you got to keep making these predictions, because every prediction that he's made has literally gone the exact opposite way, right? So he said that Arsenal were going to batter us. He said Arsenal were going to batter Chelsea. He said we were going to lose to Fulham, and we've done the exact opposite. So
there's one thing hoping that happens, which is quite normal for a non-Tottenham fan. One thing, I hope Tottenham lose the next 5 games, starting with Fulham, and I hope they lose against Fulham. There's one thing hoping it happens, but to actually come out and utterly say it's going to happen, like it's a given, and with no facts to suggest that even there's an inkling of it happening, it's just ludicrous. But I appreciate, sometimes you just got to get yourself out there.
What's up, Dietrich?
I was watching his watch along at the same time, and he was getting cooked in the comment section. He even put a video saying I'm getting cooked. Do you know the famous meme?
Yeah.
So actually, don't worry. He's getting battered. By
of course, he's got to be getting battered right now.
He's made the most ludicrous statement, and this is going to happen. Of course, even now it's like.
Even Staff is going after. Even Staff is going after.
Oh, trust me, I'm going on Mo's show later tonight. I'm just gonna let it. I'm gonna let it rip, buddy. I'm gonna let it rip.
Dietrich, what's your opinion of the game? Because like you didn't
First half, it's the same thing as Luton. We have good chances, we just don't score most of them because we have idiots like Richarlison and Kulusevski.
Yeah.
Personally, I wasn't a fan of Pape Matar. I didn't think he had a good game. That's just my honest opinion.
Defensively.
No,
Defensively, he was good,
tonight.
but like he
Defensively
doesn't.
good, offensively.
But offensively, he doesn't approach anything. Like he doesn't play as a DM. He's an 8, almost a 10. And
But I mean, that's not his game, though, right? So
yeah, I know, but like he needs to improve it. Like you saw Højbjerg, the long distance pass and like switch of plays. You have to bring that a bit, like if you're a midfielder. Like just the bare minimum.
So wait, Dietrich, you are saying that he was bad defensively but good going forward, or the other?
No. He was good defensively but bad going forward.
Yeah.
And Kulusevski, like, well, me and Will, we had this debate. I remember like a couple months ago. When he needs to find Son, he shoots, and when he needs to shoot, he passes. Like he's the complete opposite.
Exactly.
Every time.
I was so fucking furious today. Like the guy gets good opportunities. He is at the right place at the right time. Just the decision making, it's not there. It was there when first half season under Conte, right? When we brought him in, he was doing the perfect thing every time. He was scoring goals and assisting Sonny whenever like it was possible, right? This season he's exactly doing the opposite. It's so infuriating because like you just sit in front of the sofa and like scream shoot
Exactly.
and he's
but when he has Son open, he shoots. But like it's always the opposite with him. And last thing, I'm gonna call out what's his name, Dan. The fact in the comments, in the group chat, he said Richarlison had a world-class performance is one of the biggest idiotic comments I've ever heard in my life.
Dude, did you not hear me sing the national anthem when he rocketed that ball over the goal? Right? He was in 10 yards of space. My old, slightly overweight ass could have put that on target.
Yeah. I'm left. How do you say that your main leg
Group
is
chat.
Left-footed.
Left-footed.
Sorry. Yeah, I'm left-footed, and probably I would like shoot it better with my right. Just really,
No, I just think I'm not saying that we're gonna have a downfall, but if we don't improve those things, I mean, Richarlison and Kulu, trust me, we're gonna have a lot of issues against City and the Chelsea
I don't think
and the other
Kulu
teams.
is that bad. Richarlison is worse.
No, I'm just saying like we need to improve, because like honestly, defensively we look good. Van de Ven looks like a world-class defender. I'm not saying he is world-class.
We have the second best defense in the league this season.
Yeah,
so far.
yeah. I'm not complaining about that. Yeah,
the second, right? Least goals of any team from open play.
No, defensively we're doing our job, but for me, what's scary me is like we have all those chances, but we just don't score that much.
And two of those goals that we considered were penalties, by the way.
Yeah, so that's what I'm saying. So only 6 of them have come from open play. Right?
Well, I suppose if you're not conceding a lot of goals, that means you don't need to score that many goals either to win the game.
And look, even with the 2 penalties, we're still the second best defense in the league on goals conceded.
No, but like I hope like.
But you're right. We don't have enough outside of Son and Maddison. We don't really have the goals coming from the wingers. We don't have. I know Brennan Johnson will probably contribute to that once he gets fully fit, because we know that he's got a good eye for goal. Kulu's problem is that final part that's missing from his game. I think generally his game is good. His overall, the way he plays is good. I've always thought that is a great addition to have. It's just that final pass and then that last 10-15 minutes tonight where he was giving the ball away a lot. That may come down to tiredness, but with Richarlison, he just lacks the confidence in his own ability in that finishing part. Listen, he's getting the game at the moment because that left-hand side is completely open for someone to go and claim it. And right now, out of all the players that we've got available, he's the fittest one there. But I think it will only be a matter of time where Brendan Johnson will come
I have a question for you. How can you lack confidence and you're 26 years old? And this is not your first season in the Premier League.
Football's all. No, what I'm saying is, I mean, listen, I think he contributed tonight. I have to
I
say
think
this
he
honestly.
did.
No,
I think
100% he does.
No,
Look,
he contributed tonight.
in
He
build up,
contributed in the build-up play,
transition,
the transition he was involved in, and
positioning
the
runs,
underlaps
pressing.
with Udoji going past him, and he was getting the ball out wide and knocking it into him. I think they worked well. They did work well tonight. I said he's contributing in that part. It's just in the part where you expect him
third.
because he's a striker.
Yeah.
Let's have it right. He's a striker.
Look,
And you just think
Richarlison is exactly like Arsenal's whole entire front line, right? He's able to push forward, maybe look like he's got some quality in it, but when it comes to the front of the goal, he's absolutely toothless. You know what I mean? Can't create or score anything.
Have a little bit of bait there. have a little bit of bait thrown in there. Let's see who bites. Yeah, you're just thinking, that part of him. You normally have the strikers. The only part they're interested in is the finalization of any attacks, where you'd expect them to come alive, and they wouldn't contribute. Some strikers contribute in the gameplay. Others, they're just not interested. They just want to finalize. And I just think, in that part where that Son played him that ball, and you just think, he's put it on a plate for you. You're coming off the left on your right foot. You've got the whole goal at your mercy. You think the very minimum requirement is to hit the target.
Yeah.
And he's blazed it over the bar, like he's a left back coming in with his right foot. And you just think, come on, man, this is the
But I
level.
don't understand. Shooting on target is not the hardest thing in the world. It's actually super easy. Shooting it with accuracy, it's hard.
Well, I mean, if you're under pressure or if you're in tight spaces, it can be difficult. But when you're sitting at the edge of the D with 10 yards of space in any direction from you, there is zero reason why that shouldn't be between the sticks. Zero.
But by the way, as a comparison, right? Two things. There was this one ball that Maddison put on a plate for Højbjerg, right? And he's a center defensive mid, and he just slammed at it and shot at the target, straight at the keeper, yes, right? But at least it hit the target, right? That's the thing. If you are shooting with power from the edge of the box, when there is a lot of space around you, at least hit the target, right? And Richarlison didn't do that, right? But also, to follow up on your point, Dietrich, about Kulusevski and Richarlison, right? For me, with Kulusevski, we at least for a short period of time saw that it can work, right? That he has something there. It's just as if he had an inner light switch and someone just switched him off, right? And he's doing the things in a reverse way, right? And it just all it takes is switching it back on, and maybe he will come back to what he was doing under Conte, right? With Richarlison, my issue is we never saw him as either a quality finisher or a quality assister, right? He's neither. For me, he's just a bad player. Kulusevski, I think he's playing bad for a long time, but at least there is some hope that he will turn it around. With Richarlison, I'm just
but you cannot hope when you're first in the league. You're at a moment in time where every game matters.
Yeah.
Here's another.
Yeah, I get it completely. Yeah.
Here's another good question. What do you guys think about how Højbjerg today? Look, I'm going to say my points and then we'll throw it to the panel. I think that Højbjerg today played fine compared to the opposition that we were playing against. Is he comparative to anything that Bissouma's done all season? Absolutely not. But I don't think we really needed a Bissouma-esque type of a player. Having one, I think would have benefited. I think the scoreline may have been a little higher if Bissouma was in there. But I don't think not having Bissouma for this game negatively impact us based on how Fulham played. Thoughts?
Can I ask a question? Sorry, quickly. If Bissouma gets a yellow card the next game, is he banned for
Yes.
Oh shit.
Yeah, if he gets yellow carded against Crystal Palace, he's suspended for Chelsea.
Okay. Thank you.
There's one yellow card away, yeah?
Yeah. So the red overrid the yellow, so he's still on 4, according to the.
By the way, before the panel gives the answer to that question, right? With Udoji's substitution, I kind of have a feeling that he was substituted because Ange wanted to prevent him getting another yellow. Because like it was straight after a foul Udoji committed, and it was like his third foul, I think. So I think Ange just took an opportunity because it was 2-0 to just hook him off and save.
He
him.
only has 3 yellow cards.
Yeah, he's only on 3 right
Yeah,
now.
yeah, but it's still like accumulation of yellow cards, right?
Yeah, he can't help himself.
He was like this close from getting
He's an
a yellow
impact.
this game, right?
He's
So,
an impact player. He's
Yeah.
an impact player, and he
yeah,
can't help
I'm
himself.
blaming
He's
him
not.
for calling,
He's
right?
not somebody that's going to spare himself of a foul, even if it means getting a yellow card. So yeah, you're right. Maybe there was. I did think maybe did he pick up a knock on him? But obviously, when I was thinking about it, it's just wanted to avoid him getting a yellow card. And I
Yeah.
feel like the next foul would have been a yellow.
It would have been yellow.
So, but then
Although
again,
he
you
was
look at
letting everything go with
Paulinho.
Paulinho.
Look at Paulinho. Yeah, Paulinho was getting away with so many of them.
Murder, he was.
So he put 4 or 5 in before, and he wasn't yellow carded. So
I swear he fouled Madison like 5 times.
yeah, for sure.
He was kicking his legs away most of the time.
But for me, I mean, we spoke about Højbjerg earlier on, but Højbjerg did what he had to do. He got full 90 minutes. I felt that he did. Listen, there's no point comparing him to Basuma. There's nothing to compare. They're 2 different players. They provide 2 different qualities. But he did what he had to do. And yeah, listen, if we had to sit Basuma out for a game, and we know, listen, Højbjerg can be depended on. I don't think when you got the 3 guys available, Madison, Højbjerg, and Madison, Basuma, and Sarr, sorry, the midfield 3 is that. With Bentancur coming in the frame as well soon, hopefully, it's going to be a different, it's going to be a completely different midfield. But Højbjerg for sure in the squad can hold his own. He played well tonight. I think he did what he had to do. I think he did it well. He worked well with Sarr. By having both Højbjerg and Sarr protecting our defensemen, Madison had the freedom to move around where he wanted to get closer to Son. So for me, he did what he had to do, winning the balls back, tackling, fouls. That's what he does. I don't know how you guys saw it, but yeah, for me, overall a good game. We won 2-0. He did his bit.
I think I've already said the same, Niggy. I think he played well. He did his job, what he's expected to do. He was never going to be, the direct replacement for Basuma, but he did what he needed to do. He does press well, and I think we've seen a few times in this season and last season where he's pressed far up the pitch and got the ball back for us to get goals from that pressing, and he did that really well tonight. So no real, nothing really bad to say about him.
For me, he's a good squad player, nothing more. In this current Tottenham side, whether he sees himself as a squad player, that's another matter, and we'll find. And I don't think he feels a squad player. I feel that he feels that he should be in a team. Whether it be at Tottenham or not would be another matter. But yeah, listen, he's a good, valuable player for this Tottenham side at the moment. Elias, man, Elias, how did you see it, man?
No, I think Højbjerg was good. He wasn't as progressive like I earlier said, like how Bissouma is usually, but he was calm. Like he was controlling the things in the midfield, and I think sometimes if you have to have this kind of a change when you like one player who's like a regular who's not there, what you expect from your player is that the player who's coming in to replace him is not all over the place. At least he's controlling the things a little bit. He's calm on the ball. And I think Højbjerg did his job considering that that aspect of the game, that he has not been the regular starting 11 in the regular starting 11. So I think he did his job. And it I agree with Iggy that now going forward, I think things will look better rather than worse in terms of midfield. Once you have Bentancur back, and then you have Bissouma, who would be able to play as well the games, you will have these options like Højbjerg, and you can either play like Højbjerg and Bentancur, since they used to have that great partnership. You can play Sarr and Bissouma. They have a great partnership. Like, we are forming this kind of like pairings. That's just going to help us in the future for different kind of games. And especially when in January come, you have FA Cup to play as well, and then you may have like 2 games a week or like games close to each other. you can actually capitalize on that sort of partnerships a lot. Like I'm happy basically. But my main concern mainly is the wide areas a little bit. I think we are lacking depth there. We need like one left back and a one right. Left back maybe not that much, maybe, but right back we need one guy there. That's this place where
No, we don't.
Left back. I would say we need left back more.
We need center back, left wing.
Yeah. That's the order for me. And then after those, or left wing or a striker, right? But for me, I'm actually in a team of left wing more. I think I would prefer like leaving Son up top and actually buying a proper left winger than.
But Michael, what do you think about getting a center back and then maybe because VDV can play as a left back as well. He has played before as left back. I mean, he's decent there as well.
I mean, if VDV plays at left back, then we don't have a left center back, right?
No. So you can buy a good center back, like let's say get someone like Bremer or someone who's like really good center back. Put him with Romero, and then VDV goes on the left. If you need to like really have someone on the left.
I'd rather get a left back. Why move Van der Ven on a left back when he's doing so well where he is?
Just to say,
I think Elias is saying just in case, right? If Dodgy wasn't there, right? But for me, center backs is much bigger of a priority than the left back, right? But you were saying about left backs and right backs, right? I am satisfied with what's on the right, even though like Royal was like. I don't know to say piece poor today, but
I don't like him. I like. Sorry,
He always plays far worse on the left than he does on the right.
Yeah. Like let's be honest. Also, he wasn't, as we said, he wasn't playing on his like nominal position, right? But one thing I wanted to say about Højbjerg, right? And I think I mentioned it before, right? But for me, when you like when you look at the table right now, and from 11th until 20th. I am perfectly fine with Højbjerg playing against those teams, right? But from 10th upwards, I would be like not satisfied with playing him, right? Which is I think fair. This is his level for me. For me, he is like a middle of the Premier League player, right? Against Fulham, against I don't know, Brentford, Sheffield, Everton, Luton. Like, you know, those teams, I think he can, he's perfectly fine for those games, right? He will do a job. He won't, like, perform any clangers, right? But if we play this midfield today against, like, Chelsea's midfield with Enzo Fernandez, Caicedo, and Gallagher, that's a bit long. And I think that's fair, right? If we consider Højbjerg a squad player, then that's his job, right? He's not necessarily meant to be like a world beater. A world beater won't be sitting on the bench most of the time, right?
No, I agree. Look, at the end of the day, that's the time to do the rotation, isn't it? When depending on your position that you have, make the rotations to avoid players picking up or accumulating yellow cards.
Yeah.
So then when you do need them to play in the most important games, you want to have them available for you. So, but also like what I see is like a lot of players picking up CD bookings as well. I don't see sometimes. How many times have you seen, you know, a player picking up a yellow card and say, you know what, that's actually quite a good booking or quite a good yellow to take. If you have to sometimes consider yellow, then say like make it a good one. Don't do it for like little petulancy or egos. So some players get yellow card because their egos get the better of them, or like Vicario picked on one out for wasting time at 2-0, and it's just like, I mean, they're the ones that irritate me because they're ones that, you know, whilst they're not going to affect you in the game per se, in the long run when you do start accumulating them, because at the moment, I don't know about you guys, but they're giving yellow cards out like candy. Like they really are, like yellow cards for absolutely anything now.
Consistency again.
Yeah, consistency also. Yeah, like tonight, Paulinho probably should have got 3 yellow cards, but it didn't. So the Giga gives that yellow card for wasting time, but then someone hasn't bite the cherry 3 or 4 times. He's not been given a yellow card for that. So
and they're coming after us. Like we literally have the most yellow cards in the league.
Yeah.
Which game was it when we had so many yellow cards?
Sheffield. Sheffield.
Well, Sheffield, yeah.
Yeah, for 14
Yeah.
yellows in a game. Like
Yeah,
both
I mean,
teams
this
get
is
like 7.
ridiculous, and I feel like ever since that, I know I'm going back to it, but ever since that Liverpool game, I feel like there's that level of overcompensating happening, whether they feel like we have to be at the back end of some of the decisions now from that, like it's our fault that the VAR referee messed up, and also since the moaning that they did post match, Liverpool all of a sudden now getting some favours in their way to kind of compensate for the F-ups that happened after the Spurs game, or at the Spurs game. So I don't know, man. I just think that you're right, Lee. The inconsistencies are ridiculous, and the yellow cards that are being given out are a joke. And yeah, you're right, Will. It seems to be that we're getting at the receiving end from it all. So we shall see, guys.
Yeah, I mean they're poking and prodding us pretty hard, and they're not really. I think it's not really doing it both ways, especially today. I think Fulham had one yellow card in the whole game. I mean,
yeah.
Did they? I didn't think they got one.
Yes, someone got the yellow.
Oh, I must have missed that.
I think.
no, they didn't have one.
No, they didn't get a yellow card.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
No, they didn't get a yellow.
Højbjerg and Vicario got one today for us.
Højbjerg, Vicario got
Yeah,
two.
They didn't get the yellow.
We got two. They got none. They didn't get any. I'm just having a look now. So, but guys, how do you see now us? Leading up to the Palace game. Really weird. We play on a Monday night, and now we're going to play on a Friday night. We're not.
If we beat Palace, I think Postecoglou can do the hat trick of Manager of the Month award. By the way, I just realized he will, I think, be the only one who has won all games this month.
I think Emery will get it.
Emery has he won all the games?
Villa have been playing amazing so far.
Yeah, but I think the Crystal Palace game will be a lot like the game tonight, to be honest with you. I think it'll be a very similar type of a game. It'll be interesting to see if Postecoglou, now that Brennan Johnson has got a little bit of minutes under his legs, if he goes with Brennan Johnson instead of Richarlison, or if he leaves Richarlison up top. Look, it's kind of hard. What Richarlison's providing is in build up and transition is going to be hard to get away from, even though the finishing is not there. You know what I mean? Because to be honest with you, I haven't seen, since Solomon probably got injured, I haven't seen any of our wingers with as big of a transitional impact as Richarlison's made, unfortunately. And it's like that catch-22. It's a double-sided sword. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Palace
so actually,
big up Goguma.
Yeah, big
Palace
up
have just
Goguma.
Palace have just come back from an absolute hammering from Newcastle. They got battered 4-0. So then they're. I mean, I know Palace at home are normally a different team. They've got the crowd is quite higher energy levels, and obviously it's a London derby, another one. We've got loads of them, tonight, and then again we go again on Friday. But you're right, guys, man. If we can get a really good result against Palace, then that sets us up nicely for the game against Chelsea.
Oh, too, and we're doing it first here, so there's a little bit less pressure today. We got a super chat here from Dunkelsdorf. Robinson was good today. Will
I
agree.
I agree.
I think I want him too. Yeah, I would take him. He would be a great, backup or a player to put a little bit of pressure on Adoji. Way better than Ryan Sessegnon is going to be, or even Ben Davies is going to be, especially in this Postecoglou type system. Robinson, he's got wheels, and he works hard and he runs hard.
Even Timothy Castan would be a good backup.
I would alternate. Udoji and Robinson. If I had those two in my team, I would alternate quite comfortably, knowing that the drop off isn't going to be a massive one, and that's the whole point, isn't it? You want to have two. You want to be in a position, and I hope Tottenham will become in that position where you have two players for each position, where you can alternate given the games and depending on form and depending on your position and all of that, be able to alternate and not having to feel that there's going to be a drop off in that side of the pitch, in this case the left. So I'd be happy to have either of them, and I know that I'll be comfortably go in and say, you know what, Postecoglou's got two good left backs there, and he can pick and choose how he sees them depending on how they've been training that Hotspur way. So I'd be happy with that. I'd be absolutely over the moon with that. At the moment, we don't have that. You can see the subs tonight. We know that there's a drop off. You can see that they're not on the same level, which is why we have to have those 11, 12 players that are playing a lot at the moment. But once a week, we've got to try and keep them fit and healthy for as long as possible. Which is also why Postecoglou, if you notice, two of the subs that he makes all the time are Maddison and Son. They both come off. And he's preserving them, and shaves
Said he
off.
wasn't though. He said he wasn't.
Yeah, but come on, we know, we can see it. He's doing it. Shaves off 10 minutes, 15 minutes here. He's making sure that those minutes at the end, if you save them 10 minutes here, well, 17 if you add the 7 minutes added on, because they went off on the 80th minute. So now there's an extra 7 to 10 minutes added on top of the 90. So essentially, players now playing 100 minutes. If you're then sparing them 17 minutes this game, another 17 minutes, another game, that's a half hour of football that you've spared them playing in 2 games. And over the course of a month, those are minutes that, they do accumulate, guys. And we don't have the luxury of take Maddison. I know tonight we had Veliz and Lo Celso coming on, but we don't have the luxury of really replacing 2 of our best players, arguably 2 of the best players that we have in our squad. So we've got to game manage them and also manage the minutes that these guys are all accumulating. Don't forget they're representative for their national teams, and they play. Some played against Vietnam, he played against Mali. This guy, they're not spared any minutes, even with their nation. So,
yeah.
I mean, looking at the table. So basically, we have, with this game today, we have in the next 4 games basically the middle of the table, right, 10th through 13th, and we're kind of doing 13th, 11th, 10th, and then 12th. So that's, Fulham, Wolves, Crystal Palace, and Chelsea. Crystal Palace has really been struggling to score goals. Their defending has been really good, but they've been really struggling to score. So, I mean, Aston Villa, it wasn't Villa. Who beat them? They beat them.
Newcastle beat them.
Newcastle beat them 4-0 today.
4-0.
Or this weekend.
And before that, it was a 0-0 draw with Forest at home as well.
Yeah.
And
And
you guys
Forest,
have to,
beat,
if you can't score on Forest, who can you score on?
I have to go, guys. Take care, everyone.
Later,
wanna
Dietrich.
We're first on the top of the league, and even Inter is on top of the league, and Bayern is on top of, not close to on top of the league. So have a nice day.
Is Inter also on top of the league?
Yeah, Iggy would know. Have a good night, guys.
Sorry, I wasn't listening to you.
He said Inter is top.
We know he was being facetious.
It doesn't matter. In
Not that he
October,
didn't actually
November,
hear him.
I know. That's why I wanted to repeat it.
It's not October, November, December. Let's see, April, May. That's when it counts.
And they're like what, 1 point apart or on the same points? Or,
I don't know what this guy. But you know what, Dietrich, you bring this up tonight. But when Milan have been winning and blah blah blah, I don't see you anywhere. We're on top of the league
as far like last week.
I don't see you anywhere.
One clear point, Will.
Why don't you message me then? You're putting super chats in and all of that now. But let's see how you get on with the next few weeks. But anyway, what team do you support? Spurs, Inter, Bayern Munich. You got Harry Kane photo there with Deutschland. I mean, the most, and then he says he supports Man City. The most plastic fan ever known to man, and he's talking to me about his Serie A.
Nah, that's Steve.
But coming into November is going to be a tricky one. Then we've got City, Villa, Newcastle, and Brighton, all in that December month, rather. Sorry.
It's gonna be a bit.
Look. I think that's where our season will be really. Look, if we get through December and we're still on top, it's a pretty smooth sailing all the way to April. But then we have a hard run, and we've got like Liverpool, Newcastle. I can't remember. There's
You're talking about the end of the season.
Yeah, the end of the season.
the end
Yeah,
of the
Liverpool, Newcastle, Arsenal, West Ham, and City.
Yeah, right there, and then before the last 2 game weeks of the season. So, if we're gonna drop, if we get through December and we're still on top, I see us kind of holding that first or second place spot up until that period, and then that's going to be the crucible. Do I think that we're going to win it? No, but I definitely think we're challenging for third place, 100%. The way we're playing right now.
For me, like, we often like have a lot of banter in the group chat, right? But for me, like, on a serious note, any talk of any title races, any like talk of winning the league, for me, the like cutoff point is half of the season after 19 games, when you played everyone at least once. Then you can just start talking about it. And it's not even like, oh, we are going to win the league because we are 5 points ahead in December, right? That's not the point, right? But when you actually tested yourself against all the available opposition, then you can kind of like start making conclusions, right? But yeah, with the December run, I think I don't want to say we will get a bit of a reality check, because like we don't have to get smashed in any of those games, right? But I wouldn't be surprised if we, for example, drew with Newcastle at home, right?
Or lost 1-0 or something. Yeah.
Or lost 1-0, or went to City and lost 2-0. I don't think that's like embarrassing or anything to lose 2-0 at City, right? It's actually, for majority of the teams, it's a pretty normal thing to do, right? To go to Etihad and lose. So I know we are a bit different, but let's not get too cocky with
Mike, it depends how you do it. It depends how you're doing before you go to Man City or after.
Yes, of course.
Because depending on the amount of points you've accumulated till then, the Man City game can be a free hit. It could be anything that we can get from that would be a positive, other than the defeat. But even if it were to be a defeat, the points that we're accumulating, the rate that we're going right now, I've kind of like allowed you to then go with Man City with the mind free to say, play the game, and what will be will be. We go and play the way we've been playing. Don't go there with fear. Don't go there with nothing. Don't go there because you've lost 3 or 4 games in a bounce. Now you're under pressure. What you don't want to be is say, look, we've accumulated this amount of points. We know that we've got a certain way to Man City. There's going to be. We know that those games are coming, but because you've made up points along the way, it's okay to go to those places and play with a free mind. I wouldn't run away too much with our heads and say, we got to, think about December, the months. It would definitely be a good testing point to see how we deal with those games. But I would right now, man, focus on the Palaces and the Chelsea, which are the first, the closest 2 games that are coming up.
Of
Focus
course.
on doing well there. But in those games there, you also see how your team is how our team is.
Of course, the players need to take a game at a time.
How many games? If we have players suspended, how we approaching those games? We have Benton go back. Hopefully, get him in some sort of condition where he can be involved as well in that important month. And you know what? Let's see. And then in January, let's see what our board what they do.
Yeah. But I mean, of course, your team is going. The team needs to be focusing on each game week, result after result after result. They don't need to be looking ahead to anywhere, right?
No pressure, Will, because we said no pressure.
For us as fans, right? When you're looking down the table and you're seeing, okay, where could we be? My thing is if say we come through that December month with say 55% of the points possible, I would say that we will put ourselves in a good position to be right in there in third place. You know what I mean? High 70s, low 80s.
The aim is to return back to Europe. For me, I said it from the off. I haven't changed my stance. And I say Europe. When I said at the beginning of the season, I said Europe means Europa League would be a good, Champions League would be even better. I think to have, I think if we are serious as a club to back this manager, what he's done with these players, and to the backing him means they could provide him with more players with quality that really match the quality of our current first 11, then that's a club now being serious as well as their team and the manager is to then go again next season. But a lot of it rides of what happens this season. What we do, thinking if we're in this situation, I'm not saying top wheel, but you're right, second or third, or in the mix.
Yeah, in the mix.
And then you see in January, you see what a club comes up with. Then you can see, right, we as a team, as a manager, and as fans are on one side of the board, but we need to see the board to see if they can apply. I'm not saying go out there 3, 4, 5 players, but even bring in a couple of real quality players to say, here's 2 to keep going. And keep going means stay in the mix, and then we'll see come the business end to see what happens. But listen, there's a lot of football still to be played before we get to that point. But it's a good point to bring up. It's a good problem to have. And right now, people can say what they want. Fulham were rubbish tonight, and this was rubbish. So at the end of the day, man, at one point
They weren't rubbish. What did they do that was
no,
bad?
no.
They weren't making
I'm saying
mistakes.
people that are not Tottenham supporters.
Yeah, of course they will.
They
They'll
will
say
say
that Spurs
they
again
will
got
always,
lucky.
yeah, they will
conceded chances.
discredit the opposition rather than credit where the credit is due. You have to say Tottenham are playing really
In the
good
last 10, we had them locked down. They had like one shot on target all the way to like the 80th minute.
Are you going to discredit? Are people really going to discredit this performance tonight based on the last 10 minutes?
Try.
When you've got last 10 minutes, which includes the injury time, 7 minutes. So technically speaking, if you're counting 10 minutes, that means Spurs played well for 85, 86 minutes if the game went on for 97. So 87 minutes out of 97, and you're gonna come on. It's an argument that doesn't even stand. So it's okay. But if that's what they're gonna argue upon, say the last 10 minutes, then so be it. Then it's fine.
Of course they will.
No
Of course they
problem.
will. They'll say Fulham could have equalized. If Fulham finishes their chances, right? That's what you're gonna hear.
Fulham had a better field
too.
I'm gonna use box office's words. Clutching at straws. That really would be clutching at straws.
If you don't know, get to know.
Yeah,
but we're just looking at the statistics here. I mean, it just looks like Pap Matasar does have a plus over his name, which is a bit of a concern, meaning that he did get subbed off for an injury or a knock. Hopefully it's not too bad of one. It didn't look like it was bad, but we'll have to wait and see. Again, Kulu there being shown with the lowest, kind of, I think that's kind of the eye test. Everybody had said that with the eye test as well. Kind of Kulu was kind of the worst of the front three today. Son with the goal and assist is going to have more points than Madison with just a goal, but I think they were pretty much just two peas in a pod. Madison impacting the game more, I think, from the midfield, and then Son, finishing his lunch.
Who was man of the match, by the way? Who was man of the match?
Son.
I don't know. I haven't seen.
I thought it was Madison.
Son, I think Son.
Let's see.
Who actually got it though? We don't know.
I can go on the Premier League website and see here. Hold on.
I think Alan Smith said it was going to be an easy one, and they were looking at Madison at the time when he was talking. So
I did like the two centre backs. I have to say, I did enjoy the two centre backs. I thought they were quite solid, especially Romero.
Son was voted man of the match.
Cool. Yeah, I can't listen
from the Premier League. Sky Sports gives a different one, so there's like 8 different man of the match awards.
Wow.
But Son Heung-min was the man of the match as far as the fan vote was concerned. But yeah, and then just kind of the basic statistics in the game. Looking at here, 1.5 to 1 goals in the XG, and all of that basically comes from the second half in the last 10 minutes. Expected assists, we're right up there, which is another one. We're creating a lot of good chances. Possession wise, 56 to 44%. But again, that comes from the second half. Shots were, we had more than them, more on target, more blocked. Yellow cards, we had 2, they had none. What else? Big chances. We had that one big chance missed, and they had 1. So we out created them that way. And then counterattacks and counterattack shots. It was great. Shots from inside the box, shots from outside the box. But we just dominated them for the most part. Goalkeeper wise, you can see Vicario there was an absolutely an awesome keeper. Goals prevented measures the goalkeeper's effectiveness in preventing goals. So, 1.04. Passes wise, dominated. They were, pounding balls over the top. We weren't. Yeah, I mean, it was pretty much a one-sided affair, even statistically. So, we move on. We go on from here. We got Gogama here with a 10,000 won super sticker. Great, big up Gogama. The fox is too far away for me to reach because, like I said, I cleaned my when I set up that shelf back there. I cleaned my office, and now the fox is all the way over there. But I'll bring him back for the next one, I promise. Yeah, we need 3 more likes to get to 100. Make sure you are liking and smashing that. Coming up though, we got Crystal Palace next. What are you guys thinking?
Actually, I think if we win that game, and let's just say if the Manchester derby is a draw, or let's say Arsenal screw up something at Sheffield, we are accumulating a good lead there, and that's where I'm counting my hopes on Manchester derby. I'm gonna be a Manchester fan. Yeah, Manchester United fan for that one. Yeah, for the Manchester derby, I'm supporting United this year.
Well, yeah, of course you want City to drop points.
Of course.
For me,
I'm a Sheffield fan for the Arsenal game.
If Arsenal don't beat Sheffield United, they've got massive problems.
For me, the Palace game, as I said earlier, the crowd plays a massive factor. Is a massive factor at their ground. You want to silence them as early as possible. So trying to get a goal straight away in the first 10, 15 minutes will really silence them. You guys just mentioned that they're having problems scoring goals. So what better way than to put real pressure on them and scoring one first? And I think if we can do that and keep them quiet whilst putting on pressure at the same time on their team to try and find a way of scoring goals, which is not something easy to do against this Tottenham side right now. Hope I haven't jinxed them by saying that. But if you look at the goals that they're not scoring and the goals that we're not conceding, the two together should put them really under pressure with us scoring first. So I really want to silence the crowd in the first 10, 15 minutes. If we can do that, then I think we're more than capable of seeing out the game and take all 3 points. When that happens, I'll go back and use the same conversation as I did for when playing Man City. We've accumulated enough points to then go to the Chelsea game as well as they're playing. They played well against Arsenal, but I don't know how they allowed them to get back into it. Then we can go in front of our home fans against them rocking, which will be an absolute rocking place. Pochettino's coming back to White Hart Lane.
The snipe.
And you can see that game setting up for itself. But I don't want to look further than the Palace game right now. So silencing the crowd is massive. Scoring first will be brilliant.
Where's all the Arsenal trolls at? Have you noticed that they, big up Connor. Connor's come in and said, good game. We played good football today. TJ's come in and said Will's going to continue on in his world tour. Definitely. But where are the rest of them at?
It's all gone quiet in Woolwich.
Yeah, it's gone quiet over there.
There's nothing to say. What can
where is
that
guy? Where's that guy dildo in the ass?
I haven't looked at the group chats yet today. I'm sure that was there. I'm sure there's fun ones.
You'll have to go and find them in their own channels and their own.
I will. I'm having over on Footy Judge Mo. If you guys aren't subscribed to Footy Judge Mo, go ahead and subscribe to that. I'll be on Footy Judge Mo at 9 p.m. Eastern time, 8 p.m. Central time, and I'll be talking with Martin, who's an Arsenal fan, over there, and it's going to be a bloodbath.
But for me, with Crystal Palace, I seriously think they are, especially without Eze and Olise, they are absolutely trash going forward. And I'm saying this with
Wait. Did Arsenal draw with Fulham at home?
Yeah, they did.
And was it 10 men? I don't remember. Yeah. That's
Yeah,
amazing.
I think
I
it
thought
was 10
Arsenal
men.
were title contenders. That's shocks.
No.
I didn't know that.
They were about
No.
to lose, by the way, because Adama Traore actually missed one chance, by the way.
Yeah,
I
that's
remember that.
right. But
Yeah,
with Crystal Palace, I'm like fully conscious that me saying that they are trash going forward probably means that they will score like, you know.
Listen, Palace always make it difficult, man. It's always London derbies. Are always on a Friday night under the lights. It's always going to be a tough place to go, man. We have to deal with that.
Based on how both teams played so far, I am not scared of us conceding, right? But I already highlighted the issue that I think we have, which is if Son or Maddison don't score or don't create, like literally on a plate for someone, then we really find it hard to score. And Palace are actually quite solid defensively, right? Or not quite, they're actually really good defensively, right? So I really fear that this game will end up in a 0-0 draw or something like this, right? But I'm honest, I'm not scared of losing. I just wish that we play our game and we find our shooting boots and we create the chance for Son or Maddison to score, or they put it on a plate for Porro or someone else, and we actually manage to score the goal that way, right? I'm more concerned, ironically, about us going forward than us defensively, which is something as a Tottenham fan that feels really weird to say, because for the past 4 to 5 years, it's always been the opposite, right? It's always been, we are going to score the goals, but we can keep them at the back. For me, it's flipped now. Not to the same extent, but yeah.
Yeah, I guess it depends what Palace turn up, right? Hodgson just starts to put 10 men behind the ball, and then we have to break them down. There's the ability for them to hit us on the break, and they could potentially do that. But again, I think you just have to take, as long as we go there, play our own game, and if it works, it works. If it doesn't, it doesn't. Just we've got to keep our identity and go in every game with that same identity and just see what happens. I mean, I think it'll be a much different game, especially if Basuma's back, in terms of the way that we create chances, transitioning between the lines. And I just, as I say, just hope he doesn't change his philosophy. Just stick to it, and you know, they've let enough goals in that we can score against them. So, see what happens.
Oh, Cyprian Frot is here.
Big up, Stelios. How's your long drive home over there from West London?
That beard's been dyed.
West London?
Oh, is it Fulham in West London or is it in East London?
We're at home.
No, he lives in North London. He lives in North London.
Back from West London.
West.
How's your drive home?
Yeah.
It's Fulham not in West. Oh, I forgot. I thought it was a home game. I forgot.
It was a home game, man. Damn,
what's going on?
Home away.
What the hell is going
Tired,
on?
bro. Tired. Long day.
It's a short drive. It's not a long drive from where he is.
Just walk home, still.
Yeah. Listen, I'm not gonna lie, guys. I thought the first half we were very good. I thought we were dominating, creating opportunities, but not killer passes, and the chances we did create, we weren't finishing them. Second half, there's two things. One, I thought we were rubbish. I was not impressed, and the substitutions we made. I mean, as soon as Maddison and Son went off, we just had nothing. I was really pissed off, actually, because I want to see less.
Amazing point. I agree.
I think he said he wants to see Lo Celso in a bikini.
Yeah,
that's what I got.
No, he said he wants to see Lo Celso with Son.
But Iggy, you said you gotta rock out.
Yeah, but look, he's talking about if when Maddison. Oh, what is he? Maddison and Son went off on the 81st minute.
Still, your connection is absolutely dog shit.
It doesn't matter whether he's in the car, in his
in
bedroom.
the car, in the stadium, the
It doesn't
connection.
matter, does it? It's sponsored by EE.
Look, you guys, what is up with you guys' 5G
Play-
over there in London, right?
With Madison and Son.
There he is.
Exactly, Stel. I
wanna see-
agree.
Well,
This also playing with
You don't need to play 2 minutes.
No, it's gone.
Just switch off your video and just try doing without it.
Yeah, without the video, the connection would be better, right?
guys,
Yeah.
I'll leave you to it, guys. I'm gonna shoot off.
See you,
Big
Eats.
up, guys.
Let's
See
go.
you on
Go on.
Friday.
Big up,
If
Iggy.
See you on
anybody
Friday,
else,
boy.
if anybody else wants to come on the show, if you're in the chat or whatever, just hit me with an @. If we know who you are, we'll bring you on. We'll send the link to you, or if anybody in the group chats, stuff like that. Other than that, I think we're only going to go maybe 15, 20 more minutes. We'll call it a night. I think we've pretty much said, man, there's not a whole lot to say when you play well and you're beating teams. You know?
I got a shoot too, boys. So pleasure speaking with you.
Big up, Michael.
Always. Yeah. Bye. See you.
Yeah, see you, Michael.
But Lee, what do you think, man?
I think I get what Stel was trying to somehow say through all the bings and the bongs. I think I said at the beginning of this week, I'd rather see the Celso come into that Basuma role rather than Højbjerg to give that little bit of creativity that he can do. I can see why he wouldn't bring him in there though, because obviously he's had one international game prior to being injured in the last week, so I can see why he didn't want to start him, and that's absolutely fine. I get that, but I just think,
Is he strong enough defensively, though? I mean,
probably not.
we didn't really need it today, right?
No,
But
we didn't. We didn't need it
Yeah.
today, and I guess that's the thing, isn't it? We don't have any direct replacement for him. You've got bits of people that can do a job, but not one that can do the all-round job.
I think in a best case scenario, like when everybody's fit and everybody's out of suspension and stuff like that, it's going to be a Basuma Bentancur, Madison midfield, and then if Basuma ends up getting another 5 yellow cards, which he probably will, then you would have a Bentancur kind of slot into that spot, right? Because he's good enough on the ball, he's physical enough on the ball, he's strong enough defensively, and then you would bring in a Sar, right, to fill in that side, and I don't think you have near as big a drop off. Right,
No,
and that
absolutely, 100%.
Then the only real worry in that midfield for me then would be a Madison injury, right, or a Madison suspension. But yeah, I mean, Lo Celso.
I don't think we'll see the true coming back of Bentancur. I know they're saying it's like he's probably 2 or 3 weeks away now, based on what they said last week. But I don't think we'll see him till at least probably December time.
Yeah, we don't really need to see him. Give him a couple minutes, let him bed in slow, nice and easy, and let him get be at a to where look. If I was Postecoglou, I'd be trying to manage it that when we hit that stretch where we have to play Newcastle, Villa, Brighton, who else we got to play? City. Then that's where you've got Bentancur to come back in, match ready, right?
Yeah,
like that.
sure,
That's what I would be. If I was the manager and I was trying to, work him in, because you don't want any mistakes. You don't want to bring him in back too fast where he gets 1 or 2 games and he's out again for another 4 months, right? You want him to be able to carry it through, And who knows? Maybe even Lo Celso can do a deal with Bentancur and Basuma in there to help him.
Yeah, maybe. What's the How does it work with yellow cards though? Is there a certain position where they get to where it actually that they all get sort of reset?
It's like game week 30, I think.
Okay, so it's quite a while. So we're still, on a knife edge with Udoji as well.
And then you get another, I think after 10 yellow cards, you get like a 2-game ban or something like that. I can't remember, but you get another.
There are two phases, Will. So one is until like game week 19, and the other one is like after game week 30. So if you have like certain number,
he's going to get a yellow card, isn't he? In one of these.
Well, yeah, he had like 10 or 11 last season. So, and that was playing.
I think we'll see more of that taking him off after a certain amount of time, especially if we're in a winning position to protect him game by game.
Yeah, and that's what you can maybe you can give some minutes to Basuma then. So we got Stelios back once again. Give him one more try. See what he can do. Oh, he's at home now.
Did you hear me this time?
Yeah, we can.
Yes, we can hear you.
Okay, that's better. So my internet cut out in my car. Yeah. What was I saying? Yeah, I was saying how I thought the first half I thought we were really good. I thought Spurs played really well, but just that final pass or that finish wasn't there. And I don't think we were shooting as much as what we could have, but I was happy with Spurs. I had no complaints. But that second half, right? That second half for me, it was slow. It was lethargic. We didn't play well, in my view. And Fulham could have got a couple of goals because we were mucking around with the ball and being slow with playing the ball. And I just got pissed off that we bring on Lo Celso, but we take off all the good players around him. I want to see Lo Celso play with the good players, not carry the team by having to play with the crap players. And then Veliz, that pissed me off as well, because why bring on the striker if you're going to take off the players that can feed the ball to the striker? And Johnson, he comes on, knock the ball past the player and use your pace to run past him. He kept passing it sideways and backwards. And I just thought, this is all wrong. This is wrong. Like, the players that have come on, you're not playing to your strengths. And the players that have come on, we haven't complemented them with the players around them to get the best out of them. So I just thought, this is all just a bit shit.
What I was saying though on the watch along with Iggy, is that in those last 20 minutes or last 17 minutes, from the time that Madison's son came off, is that rather than, because Fulham weren't pressing us, there was no reason for us to try to force transitions that didn't need to be there, and we should have just been retaining possession, playing the ball around the back for the last 20 minutes, because they weren't even making runs at our center backs in the end of that game, and it was all us giving the ball away, trying to force an attack, trying to go for that third goal when we didn't need it.
Yeah, we didn't need to force any goals, but I think when you look at Man City, they just keep going, 4-0, 5-0. They just pepper. I'm talking about Man City from the last couple of years, not the one we're seeing this season so far. And I think if Spurs want that mentality, they've got to be ruthless. Like, don't settle on 2-0. Make it 5. Destroy them. Bury them. And I just felt that we could have done that today, and we didn't. I hear your point, Will.
But I don't mind trying to attack like when you have the opportunity, because I think, like, I can't remember what game it was, but there was times it was one. What were the last two games that we had this season that we just kind of barely squeaked it by?
Luton.
Luton. So within the Luton game, we were taking the ball into the final third, and there were some passes that you could have made into the penalty box that we weren't taking, and we were just recycling it back, trying to go for that 1-0 win. I don't mind, but I'm saying be patient in the build-up. Rotate. Don't give the ball away for no reason. Don't try to force a pass, that you've got half a yard of space in between two defenders, and you're trying to sneak it through there. Recycle, build up, control it, play balls, create chances, and still keep going for the goals. But it felt to me like we were trying to force things that weren't there. Dribbling past players when we had easy passes that, to switch the play from one side of the field to the other. That's the thing that was upsetting me. Build it up, but build it up controlled and slowly. You can still go for those extra goals, but because I don't see Manchester City trying to force things down the wings or down the touchline or force things through midfield. They recycle, pass, and kill you with 1,000 passes, right?
Yeah. I think there were times when there were simple decisions to be made, and we didn't do it. Especially when we did actually. In fact, I saw the opposite. I saw us playing out from the back. I'm all for it, and I love it when we do it. I want us to keep doing it because we actually created. If you look at that Richarlison chance in the first half where he's missed the target, he pulled it wide. That was us playing out from the back when half the stadium was shouting, "Clear it!" And I'm like, no, we can get out of this. We can work it. Have faith, and that's how we create the attack. But I just feel, Will, there's certain players on that pitch, and I said this when we played Luton Town, how I was pissed off the way we played, and everyone said, no, it's the way you manage the game. I'm like, there are players at this club that cannot play handball. They can't play the football that we want to see them, that is needed to play handball. Like today, I don't give a shit if Richarlison passed the ball to Son and then Son did all the hard work to beat a couple of players and curl it into the top corner, right? That's going to be a Richarlison assist. Richarlison did fuck all. It was Van de Ven that won the ball, and it fell to Richarlison, and he just simple pass to Richie, okay? Simple pass to Son. That goal was all about Van de Ven and Son. But there will be fans who jizz over Richie. Other than that,
Nick Coulson.
Dude, I can't watch Richarlison in this team. He's not an handball player. We played a game, right? We played a game, the people I sit with. How many times will Richarlison be on the ground? Just on the ground for whatever reason. 12 times today. 12 times he was on the ground. Like, is he a football player or a gardener? Is he trying to cut the grass, plant some seeds, and grow some tomatoes?
He's an actor, so he's an actor. He's going to go into TV when he gets back, when he retires from football into Brazil.
Yeah, like.
But you got to admit, though, Stel, hold on. You got to admit, though, that so far, out of all the wingers that we have, as far as his build-up and transitional play is concerned, he's just better right now. Like, as far as
he holds us back more than he helps us. For every one time he's involved in a moment that leads to a goal, he will fuck up 4 opportunities that should be a goal. And that's my issue.
But the thing is with Postecoglou is if he's helping us move and transition into their final third better than anyone else. It's a hard decision to make as a manager.
But he doesn't.
You know what I'm saying? He does in the build-up.
No, today I didn't see it. I don't see it. I see 2 or 3 moments out of 12 or 15. It's the same with Chicken Royale. He comes on and we're on the counter-attack and you're like, play the ball forward. The man's made the run in the middle. And he's trying to do like an L-shaped turn. Or he's trying to do some kind of maneuver. And you're thinking, dude, it's a simple. Let me give you an example. The second goal we scored today, Heung-min Son receives the ball. He sees Maddison make the run. He just lays it off into his path so he can take the shot. It was so simple. Emerson doesn't do that. He would, if that was Emerson, he would try and scoop it over someone's head or something stupid. Look, I'm not saying these players are terrible, awful. They're the worst in the world. For the way Andrew wants to play, really intricate in close areas, under pressure out from the back, and then use the overload and quickly move it into the right areas. I just don't think Richarlison. I don't think Chicken Royale. I don't think who else come on today? I don't think Højbjerg had a bad game, but I don't think he's that player. You know, I don't think that.
I said that.
Even Skip, listen, even Skip, who I defend to the hills, and I still think there's a good player in there. Even Skip, I don't think he's going to be that player for Angeball, right? And I rate Skip, but I'm just thinking, what players suit the system now? I'm just talking about players that suit the system. And when I look at Richie, when I look at Chicken Royale, when I look at Skip, when I look at Højbjerg, I don't think they suit the system. I don't think they suit what we're trying to do as a way of playing football. They might do really well at other clubs playing in their positions, but the way we want to play as Tottenham under Ange, it just breaks down. It just doesn't quite fit. People can criticize Kulusevski as much as they want, but he can play Angeball. He can. I saw it today again. The only problem with Kulu is just that bit of pace that we need. Just that little bit of pace from him. But we need technical players that can move the ball quickly. And that's not Richie. That's not Chicken Royale. I don't think that's going to be Skip. And I don't think that's, what do you call it? Højbjerg. Although I like Højbjerg as a squad player, by the way. I would keep Højbjerg as a squad player. I would.
Yeah, he's going to go in January, though.
So, sorry?
I agree still. I agree.
Højbjerg's going to go in Jan.
Listen, I said after like 25 or 30 minutes, I don't remember a single pass going from Romero or Van de Ven into Højbjerg, which is completely different when you've got Basuma on the pitch, right? Basuma takes those passes in And he either does one or two things. If he's under pressure, he'll pass it back or look for a pass, or he'll take the player on and then make that transition between the midfield and going forward. Whereas Højbjerg, he wasn't even getting the chance today because they weren't even giving him the ball. It was either going out wide or it was going back and forward between Romero and Van de Ven. They barely in that first half gave him any, because they don't trust that he can do the same job. So they know if it's going into him, it's coming straight back to him most of the time. Other than that, I think he did a job today. I think he did it well. But that was where we were lacking. You must have seen it in the first half. The amount of times that Maddison was so deep. He was so deep receiving the ball off of Van de Ven or Romero, where he's more effective, on the edge of the box, looking for those balls. And I think that shows the lack of trust between some of those players in there to play the way that Ange plays. And I just didn't see
Son
that
dropping
today.
a lot deeper today too than he has been normally as well.
The thing is, right? Yeah, go on.
I was just going to say, someone said something in the comments. It was quite a while ago, but I know that it's great that Ange is getting player of the month, manager of the month, and Son and Madder's getting player of the month, etc., etc. But I'll tell you what, both of those, Romero and Van de Ven, have got to be very close. I know that they scored the goals, but they've got to be close to winning that because they've been absolutely exceptional.
Van de Ven today, his recovery running is exemplary, and it's not just that he gets the ball; he then turns, beats the man, faces the direction we're attacking, and starts to transition for the attack. Like when I watched Van de Ven, Romero, Udogie, Bissouma, Maddison, Kulu, Son, I get excited. I get excited that we can do something, that Spurs can achieve something great. I really do believe Spurs can achieve something great when I watch these players. But then when I see a Richarlison dropped in, a Chicken Royale, Skip comes in, or I don't know, whatever, I just, this is where we're going to fall short. And anyone who thinks I'm being negative here, right? I really don't care. What we have got. I don't know how this has happened, but we have got a massive opportunity of doing something big. We really have. This is the best start of a manager in Premier League history. No manager has started like this. Never in the history of the Premier League. This is the best start of a manager since the 1961 double team, right? People say, don't get carried away. It's only 9 games. I agree. But let's just put it right. I'm not saying Spurs will win the league. I'm saying I think we are edging towards that conversation. The year Leicester City won the league, they had no Europe. Spurs have got no Europe. They depended on 4 players that season. Schmeichel, N'Golo Kante, Riyad Mahrez, and Jamie Vardy. Vicario, Bissouma, Maddison, Son. We are on the brink of potentially having something we never thought we could have, which is an opportunity of doing the unthinkable. In January, we need to go and buy 3 top players. Top. So it's not Chicken Royale that comes on. It's not Richarlison that's the one we're looking at. It's not Eric Dyer if one of the centre-backs gets injured. And I tell you what, with 1 game a week, anything is possible. Do I think we'll win the league? No, I don't. But are we edging towards a conversation where we've got to be taken serious for it because we only have 1 game a week? Because we've got players that are playing fantastic? Yeah. So when I see the Richies and the Emerson Rouse guys, it frustrates me because if they're the reason, or it's players like that in the end we fall short, I'm going to fucking lose my mind because I don't know, man. Are we going to have a start like this next season? I don't know. I only go by now, and we're having an unbelievable start to the season. So, and that second half just made me realise a few things about this squad. It's just not there, is it? It's just not there.
Yeah, I mean, I think we need 3 players. For me, I think we need a winger, and we need a midfielder, and we need a center back, just to sort out some of the depth. And who that midfielder is it a Maddison backup? Is it a Bissouma backup? I don't know. But if we've got 3 outgoing players coming up this January, if Dyer, Højbjerg, and Lloris leave in January, surely we've got to sign at least three or four, right? If three go out, three got to come in, right?
Let me ask you a question, guys. Have you watched a team this year in the Premier League, home and away, where you think, wow, they look brilliant? Like, they look really good.
No. Or us.
Not amazing. I think we seem to have, in spits and spats we do well. We seem to start off slow, then we gain pace, and then when, as you say, Stel, when we start making changes, we start to drop off. I'm for me, and listen, I don't get paid hundreds of £1,000s a year or something like that. But for me, if I'm on that pitch and we've got 11 men on that pitch that are not under pressure and we're doing well, to then completely destroy half the squad for the sake of 10 minutes just doesn't seem like it would make much of a difference. So you're right. As soon as we're taking like Son and Maddison off and we completely lose any creativity, if something were to happen and they were to nick a goal back or even two, then we are completely in the mud. That's when we're in the mud because we've got nothing to create going forward. So for me, I mean, I wouldn't make as many changes as he does. I think the Udogie one was right because of the fact that he's on a yellow card and he's suspended.
He didn't look right, by the way. Udogie didn't look right.
He looked a
tonight.
bit sloppy.
Yeah, he didn't look right. I don't know whether he took a knock playing for Italy or he was tired, but just watching Udogie tonight, something didn't look right with him.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm a philosopher. I don't like making too many changes. I don't like upsetting the apple cart when you've got a good thing going for the sake of 10, 15 minutes, etc. Make changes, but you don't have to make so many.
Lee, do you think it's because in 4 days' time we've got another Premier League game and he's thinking, I can't depend on these bench players,
this is what
so I need to rest my starters.
Will 10 minutes make a difference? Would have leaving Sonny on there for an extra 10 minutes made a difference to Friday night? I don't personally believe it does, unless you're protecting them because you think they're going to get an injury from a tackle or something of that nature. I really don't think 10 minutes makes a difference.
I personally thought he brought them on because he thought, do you know what, Fulham aren't a threat. You're right, it was a risk,
but we made them a threat. We made them a threat by making the changes. That's what, and Will was saying this earlier. We made them look better in the second half of the second half, and all the stats show that because of the changes that we made. Whereas if we just controlled the ball, kept the ball in the midfield, and progressed forward and played our game, I think we could have gone on and scored more and just put the game completely to bed rather than spending 15, 20 minutes at the end under more pressure than we should have and bringing people on making mistakes.
Do you think then that he made the subs? He took a risk, right? He took a risk because you're right. If they get one goal in those last 10 minutes, it's backs to the wall and we're going to be shitting it. But do you think he took a risk because he thought, do you know what? I need to give these players time. I need to see if they're going to be up to what I need for the Premier League season. So it was an opportunity to give Veliz minutes, Lo Celso, Brendan, and so on and so on. But I'm going to contradict myself. But by doing that, he took off the players that link up well with those players that he brought on. So, but
yeah,
I guess he's if Lo Celso is going to stay and Veliz, we bought him. He's got to give a minute sometime, isn't he? When do you do it?
Yeah, he's got to keep him sharp at some point, right?
Yeah, no, absolutely. I mean, we can't make a professional decision on how these guys are going to play with only 8 or 9 minutes on the pitch. It's as simple as that. And I said this a couple of weeks ago about Veliz, and do you know what? I got hammered in the comments, but I know I was sat back tonight and was like, all right, he's got another 10 minutes. Let's see what the boy can do. And I think, but I can't really judge him on 10 minutes. It's just not. And especially as you say, especially as you take the creativity away from him. I mean, with Maddison on there or Basuma on there or something with him up front could be a completely different story than seeing him with Skip and Højbjerg in midfield, and Johnson who's just come back from an injury. It's a completely different game, isn't it? So it's almost like he's said, get on there and just make yourself a nuisance, and that's it. Which is not really playing to his strengths again, is it?
Yeah, no, 100%.
By the way, this comment here, I disagree with you, Spurs fan. I think Lo Celso is an handball player. I think he is. I know a lot of people probably disagree with that. I think he is. But I want to see him play with the Ange Ball players, not the ones that don't cut it. You know, I'd like to see Lo Celso play with Madison, Basuma, Son, Kulu. I'd like to see that.
Would
But
you,
whether or not Ange thinks that, I don't know.
Would you like? I mean, we're getting a lot of comments coming out of the Tottenham camp about Hill. Would you like to see him start on Friday night instead of Richarlison?
I would have liked to at least seen it. I would have rather seen Hill and Johnson come on for both Kulusevski and Richarlison tonight, so that you could see something. I don't think you start Brian Hill without seeing him play coming off the bench first. You know what I mean?
So Crystal Palace is a weird one because going forward, they're dog shit. Their wing backs are terrible, and I think pretty much all their creative players are out. Okay. It really should be nothing but a Spurs win. There is nothing that should suggest or provide evidence that we don't beat Palace. Not in a million years. But it's Friday night. It's under the lights. All the Palace fans are going to be on it. The atmosphere will be good. You need to put it to bed quick. First 30 minutes, just come out like we did today. Bang, 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 bang. And just make sure we get a couple of goals, though, rather than just the one we did. So really, you want to start the players that are going to give you that. We don't know with Brian Hill. We don't know because he's been out for so long. So really...
And he wasn't good before either, right? So
yeah. So...
Well, it's a different kettle of fish.
You might have to start Richie. You might have to start Richie. As much as I don't like him, as much as he winds me up, he's been playing. So he's more ready for the game than Brian Hill.
You know, from your coaching just as well as I do, you can have players that you put them in training and they're like Messi or Ronaldo, and you put them on the pitch and they just shit themselves, and they're just not the same player because they.
Yeah.
I don't know why that is mentality or something like that.
It's
so
pressure, right? It's internal
absolutely.
expectation, because when you're at training, there's no pressure. You're free. You're free to play. You're free to be creative. You're free to make mistakes. But then when you get on that pitch and the lights are on, then you start to feel that pressure. I got to play well. I have to do this. You know, then you don't have the same,
That's
the
exactly
same
what
fluidity.
Richarlison shows, isn't
he? Yeah.
See the training videos, he's putting them away for fun. See him on a Monday night at Fulham. Yeah, I'm pretty sure. I'm pretty sure what happened with Richarlison's shot that went into the stands. I reckon it just bobbled on a very small pile of seed. And that put him off because he was like, "Do I go for the seed or do I go for the ball?" And that because I just can't just change the direction of the ball and put it back towards the goal. You don't have to put your foot under it, kick it into Rose's head.
To be £60 million, even if you're not a striker, right, and not be able to hit the target is absolutely scandalous. The signing of Richarlison is a scam. It's an absolute scam. In the first half, it was a fantastic, quick passing move. We beat whatever high defensive line Fulham tried to put on us just in that moment. We got past it, got down the wings. We've broken with Kulu. The ball comes in, pulled back, edge of the box. All I'm thinking is, oh my God, this is going to be an absolutely sensational goal. What a team goal. And Richarlison puts it wide. And the moans in the whole stadium, it's almost like it's become normal now. This guy, he doesn't even hit the target. And then the second half, the one you described, Lee, where he hits it into the roof.
With nobody near him. He was in acres space, had plenty of time to, take a touch, get his legs right, open his body up. And he just blasted over the bar.
It's just, and the guy next behind me is saying, do you know what? He's just lacking confidence. I said, but where's that confidence going to come from if you can't hit the target? Even Højbjerg took a shot from distance today, straight at the goalie caught it. Okay. But it was on target. Maybe the goalie drops it. Maybe he fumbles it and it causes a rebound and Son comes in and taps it in. If you don't hit the target, it's dead. You've killed the game. And I just, I can't. Guys, honestly, I can't watch him play football. Lee, Will, I can't physically watch this guy play football.
And look, Dan, you got to stop, dude. Like, seriously, your delusion is just insane, bro.
No, man.
And what the heck is Mizzy?
Do you know? I'd rather we just start Brendan Johnson out there, because at least he's got pace. And I tell you what,
I agree.
There's this really high ball. There's this really, really high ball, and it come down, first touch, killed it. This kid Johnson has got an unbelievable touch on him. Do you know that? That's the second time I've seen that kind of a touch. The first time I saw it was against Sheffield United, where he took control of the ball and then scored a goal, but it was offside. He's got a really, really good touch on him. Richarlison hasn't got that touch. And this is what I mean about Ange Ball. Players that can control a ball. Ange Ball is all about ball control. What you do with the ball, that's up to them in training. But if you can't control a ball, you can't play Ange Ball. And I don't know.
Please tell me. Please tell me when Richie controlled it with his back and then lost the ball, that there was some moans and groans in the stadium. Oh, mate.
Lee. What? This is what I mean, right? Why have you got to make something so simple look fucking like it's
he's trying to be Ronaldinho, man. That's
code, some kind of code to arm a nuclear weapon. Like, what?
He's got to be Ronaldinho. He's got to be Ronaldinho style. That's what he's trying to be.
The thing is, I don't listen. If it was in the 96th minute, right, and there's a minute to go, all right, fair enough. But I think it was around the 80th minute, and that is just taking the piss, because you still got, you know, the games don't finish around the last 10 minutes now. They are.
Yeah, look at the Chelsea Arsenal game.
Yeah,
right?
90th minute. Then you start thinking, all right, maybe we can just, you know, pan out for the next 5 minutes and we'll be fine. But 90th minute, you've got anywhere between 15, potentially 20 minutes, depending on how many stoppages there have been. For him to do that when there's still potential for them to score, I think is disrespectful. I'm not going to lie. I'm not his biggest. Other than that, I don't think he had a bad game. I think he did what he did, but that's just. And I think Ange had a little bit of a pop as well.
Do you know what? Richarlison did well today, and I'll give him some credit for this. When we had corners or free kicks whipped into the box, whenever it was in his area, he pretty much won all his headers. As a defensive player at the back that can win aerial duels and clear the danger, he did well today. But I noticed that Richie actually did. In fact, heading is his only asset. Heading is the only thing this guy is good at. If you look at most of his goals, they're headers, aren't they? So
they are all headers.
They're all headers. So I'm not surprised he's winning headers at the back and clearing it. That is the only thing this guy consistently shows me signs of being good at something. But we don't put crosses into the box for our players to header. So what's the point of him? What is the point?
Yeah, other than that one that Kulusevski put in that Bessie or Bossy or whatever his name is cleared. I mean, Son was right there, and then Richarlison was right behind Son. We didn't really have any balls in the box I can remember in that whole game. Bars, corner kicks. So
I don't know, man. Maybe I'm demanding too much from this team too soon. But when you can see what they can do, when you I look at that.
That's
game
why
at
I say,
Arsenal,
look, still. This is why I say we're in the sketchy, fuzzy period of a Postecoglou start. This is what this is. This is what. Just imagine when we start clicking on all cylinders like Celtic did after the first 3 or 4 months of under Postecoglou. What will we look like?
Do you know what it is, Will? Like, no, you're right. I totally agree with you, 100%. But I look at that game at Arsenal and I think we played so freaking well at the so-called champions elect. We went to the Emirates. I don't care if Declan Rice played or didn't play. We played so well, and some of the football we played at the Emirates, I thought, wow, this team is so good to watch right now, and we can cause damage, and we should have scored more goals. So when I see that performance against Luton Town, and when I see the second half against Fulham, I just feel a bit dejected. I'm not criticizing Ange, or I'm not criticizing, what we're doing, I just feel dejected. Like, how? We know how we can play, but when it's slow, it's lethargic, and I see average players like Richie and Chicken Royale and not Højbjerg, but just averageness affecting the team. I don't know, guys. It just, I think the standard or the bar has been set at a certain level that I kind of want to see that consistently. And when it just drops off like I saw it, okay, yeah, we got the win and teams are successful. They win playing not well. I get all that. I don't know. Maybe I'm just getting a little bit too.
We got D Mizzy in the house.
We're
Whatever
top
that
of the
means.
league. I don't understand this negativity. I generally like,
Because we still want our
on,
players to play
man.
better.
We played amazing today.
We did not
For
play
75 minutes.
Maybe about, yeah.
The first half we played well.
Okay, but I don't
second
know how
half.
you guys expect. Yeah, because we took off most of our best players on the pitch. Like, I don't know how you expect us to take off our starting players, our key players, bring on our bench players. We've already won 2-0, so we're trying to slow down the game. That's what we are attempting to do. And you're saying it's a negative for because we didn't 18 goals in the last 19 minutes. That's not how handball works. Yeah, you don't just pop us, but you don't just keep attacking at them non-stop.
That's exactly what
There's some
handball
type
is.
of control of the game. And that's what we did. We controlled the game. Yeah,
No, but we
around
didn't
the end,
control the
they
game.
created
But
one
that's
or
the
two
whole point.
chances. But
We
no,
did in the
let's
last
be
20
real.
minutes. We didn't
Nobody
control
can
the
sit here
game.
and say that they scared us.
Dan, in the last 20 minutes, when Son and Madison went off, we didn't control anything. Like, you're literally watching a different game. We were giving the ball away in midfield pointlessly. We were trying to force things. Right? We controlled the game, yeah, for the first 70 minutes, but after that, we stopped. That's the whole point.
We slowed down the game after that.
No, we didn't.
We slowed
We
down the
let
game.
them into the game
It's
after that.
unrealistic to expect us to be at 100% the whole game. It's unrealistic.
No, it's not.
For us to think
the game's 90 minutes. If you can't play a full 90 minutes, you're going to end up losing, dropping points.
It's unrealistic. It's unrealistic.
Okay,
I hear the
Dan,
argument if we're playing against a team like Chelsea. We're playing a team like Arsenal.
Dan, we played Fulham today, right? Fulham are 13th in the league. They're a below average team, right? Average is mid-table. They're below mid-table, right? They're a below average team.
They're not below average.
That second half.
They're not below average team.
They literally are.
Average is middle of the table. They're below middle. That means you're below the average. Average is the middle of the table. So I don't understand
That's unfair
what you said
because the
there.
Premier
But
League
anyway,
is very high quality.
okay, they're a below average team in the Premier League. That's what I mean, right? So in the Premier League,
we're not talking about Portugal.
They're a below average team. They're next to Brentford and Nottingham Forest. Then they're next to Brentford and Nottingham Forest, right? So to not dominate them and really just show them who's boss is a little bit. Oh, what's this about? When you've seen your team go to Arsenal and go toe to toe with them, when you've seen your team put Man United to bed, I just feel that you've got to be tearing these teams apart. Scraping 1-0 against Luton, 2-0 against Fulham. I don't know. For me, it's
not good enough. You've got to put in bed early, and then you can slow down, but not as much as we slowed down tonight. We let them back in the game.
Go 3-4-0 up, and then slow the game down. What would have happened if Fulham got a goal in the last 10 minutes, Dan? What would have happened?
That's hypotheticals. That didn't happen, so we don't have to worry about it. Because we controlled the game. We controlled the game, and we slowed it down at the end. We had players come off, key players come off. Do you seriously believe that if we would have kept Madison, if we would have kept Son, if we would have kept all our starting players, key players, fundamental players on the pitch the full 90 minutes, there would have been a fall off? Of course,
no, there wouldn't have been. I think we would have scored more. I think we would have scored more as they tried to put more pressure on. I believe we would have more chances to score more goals and just put the game to bed, rather than sitting back for 20 minutes and having all the pressure on us. Whereas if you do that against some other club, then we won't be as lucky with Fulham.
Pressure is like what we did to them in the first few minutes, that they couldn't breathe. We did not see that. There was not one point in those last 20 minutes that I was sitting there worried that they would get a last minute goal. Not one moment. That's what pressure.
Well, not even the little dink over Emerson Royale when he wasn't looking, and Vicario had to make the save or anything like that. That didn't
Vicario had
worry
to
you
make
at all.
saves in the first half as well. That header worried me more than anything in the last 2 minutes. The header that
from
Vicario had to
corner.
pull out of his back to save.
Dan,
That header
Dan,
was
do you know the
more
point? Do you know the point? Shall I tell you where my concern is? So my concern is, if we play the way we're playing, like we did against Luton second half, like we did against Fulham, and we go into like the games against Chelsea and Wolves away that's coming up in Newcastle, we're not going to see these outcomes. We're not. That's why I'm saying it, because there will come a moment where this doesn't work. You know, it won't. These teams will take those chances. Like today, Fulham didn't have many chances, but they had moments.
We had more,
and
though.
They were shit. Like
you
Luton.
say...
Luton.
Yeah, but we shouldn't be giving them those little moments when we don't need to, right? Like it was unnecessary to let them get sniffs at our goal, right? They weren't pressing our back line at all. We literally could have recycled the ball between our back four and finished out the 20 minutes just like that. Like there's no need.
That's how football works.
It is how football works. It's exactly how football works. When you're winning 2-0 and your back line's not being pressed by their front line, why are you trying to score a third goal?
Because that's how we play. I don't think you understand.
You can play that. You can listen. But there's no reason to force it. If you get the opportunity, take it. There's no reason to force it.
We're not forcing it though.
Yeah, we did. That's why we gave the ball away so much in the midfield.
The same way. Would you say that we're forcing it in the first half?
No.
So then, what's the difference between us trying to
turning it over and not turning it over? Right, when the quality drops, and you don't have the players to move and transition like you did in the first half. There's no reason to try to force, little side balls and flick ons and do all of these things in your own defensive third. There's no point.
Listen, Will, we had some of those moments in the first half as well. There was a moment where Vicario gave away a ball because he was trying to be like sneaky and play out of the back, but not going to bring that up.
No, in the first half, we just pushed the ball up. Romero would slowly take the ball into the attacking third. They weren't pressing us at all in the first half.
There was two moments
Spurs were good in the first half. Dan, Spurs were good in the first half. We were good in the first half.
They were very good in the first half, but I'm making the argument that we weren't bad in the second.
Yes, we were. We were shit.
We're sloppy the last 23 minutes.
We were slow from the start. and when we did attack in the transition, we were crap. The passing in the transition in the second half was dog shit. And your boy Richarlison unmarked, no pressure, smacks it into the roof of the stadium. Are you kidding me?
Oh my god! Okay, here we go.
He hit Stell in the face.
Here we go. Pinpointing Richarlison. Yeah, okay. Yeah, the reason. No. The reason he fell off was because of Richarlison. That's right.
I never said that. I never said that. I never said that. No. I never said that. I never said we fell off because of Richarlison. What I'm saying is, in the second half, we did not attack the way we did in the first half. In the first half, we looked quite creative, actually, and we just lacked that final touch or that clinical strike. In the second half, when we attacked, the passing was a mess. I saw Kulusevski pass a ball behind the winger. I saw Richarlison unmarked smash it into the roof of the stadium. I saw Emerson Royale going down the wing, not feeding the player in and sending it sideways. I saw Pigeon Face trying to receive the ball with his back. Take it on your chest and go forward. I saw Johnson receive the ball, rather than knocking it past the player and beating him for pace, which is what he's good at, he's passing it backwards. That second half, our attacking play was very, very average. That's what I saw.
It's not going to be every player doing the most robotic thing. This is the thing about Angeball. The players are being given freedom to do what they think is necessary on the ball. It's not just, oh yeah.
And they didn't do well with it, Dan. And they didn't do well with that freedom. I'm not. Hold on a minute. I'm not saying they should be robotic. I agree. Freedom. I'm all for it. But the decisions they were making were crap. It wasn't good. I don't think.
I disagree.
Dude,
I don't
look.
think Richarlison mishitting the ball was a decision. I don't think Richarlison saw the ball coming and then going, "Oh yeah, I'm just gonna strike it towards Richarlison's head in the north stand." No, it's not a decision. It's a mistake.
But how many mistakes? You missed an open goal.
You
against
don't
Luton
have
Town.
to take that first time when you don't have anybody pressuring you. You should be able to take a touch, control the ball, set your body, square your hips, and put the ball on target. Right? That's what happens. If you're checking your shoulder, if you're a good player who's checking their shoulder and you're able to see and look what the pressure is around you, you know that you have time. That's what good players do.
If you actually saw it, there was somebody that was close to him.
No, there wasn't.
That was coming on to him. Yeah, there was.
Dan, the first half, I thought Spurs were very good. I had no complaints, none. The only complaint I had was we weren't taking a few more shots, and we weren't just being clinical with that final ball. That's the only little fine tweaking. Otherwise, I would have said, do you know what? Good Tottenham. That second half, dude, I was bored. Honestly, I was bored. I was not entertained. I never thought this is a good performance. I never felt we were going to lose it. I never felt like at any stage we're going to completely fuck this up. But there was one or two moments that Fulham got in behind us. If it wasn't for Van der Ven or for Vicario, it could have been a different story. But the way we played second half, for me, that is not good enough. It's not.
It's good enough for a second half. You've taken off your top players from the starting 11. You've taken them off.
No, because we were playing.
Go down the play. You've already dominated the whole game. You're 2-0 up. There's no need to continue to absolutely pour at them. Just let the chances come to you. There's no reason to just continue to.
Boom, post-match press conference.
He said that.
Yes,
according to Adam Phillips.
You are saying we played well second half, and our manager is saying it's the worst we've seen. And I agree. That's what I saw.
100%.
No, I didn't say that we played well. I say that we wasn't bad.
What's the difference, Dan?
You're making it sound like we played like a blizzard.
Look, we didn't play like Arsenal, right? But we weren't good.
What does Arsenal have to do with anything? First of all. Second of all,
okay,
I'm not
we're saying shit.
That we played amazing. I'm just saying.
You know what? There was a moment.
We're saying they played like shit in the second half, right? You're saying, we weren't great, but we weren't good. We weren't shit. And I was like, yeah, we didn't play like Arsenal, right? But we weren't great. That was a dig at Arsenal. Yeah, slow there.
There was a moment in the game. There was a moment in the game, second half, where Porro got the ball. And there's a simple ball, just play it wide and we're in. And he plays it in the middle. He puts Pape Sarr under pressure. Pape Sarr then is in a 50-50 battle now. He's just about won it and it's bounced off someone and it goes off for a throwing and the attack died. I looked and I remember this moment because I looked over where the throw-in was to see who's going to take the throw, and Ange was there. Ange went nuts. He's like just laying into them because they weren't making simple passes. And I thought, fucking hell. Ange is normally just hands in his pocket, just watches the game. When he's getting angry, it's not going how he wants. He wasn't happy with what he was doing.
If that's not what he wants, if that's not fully what he wants, then I just want to see what he wants. Because if he's disappointed on that game,
the second half. There was moments in the second half he was getting angry.
Second half, if he's disappointed in the second half, he's saying that he wants to see more than generally like there's nothing but excitement. Because if he's expecting more than that, generally like
simply put, Dan, he doesn't have the players to bring on right now that can particularly play the way he plays. It's almost like we shift completely in the way that we play because of the players, and that's because with the injuries and stuff. It's as simple as that. He has to go with what he can, but it doesn't work out the same. And when they play shit, he calls them out for it.
Dan, you may want to turn the volume down on your phone a little bit. We're getting some feedback.
The positive I will take from this game, and it's what I took from the Luton game, but I haven't fully seen it since Luton, right, is that if you're not playing well and you acknowledge it, then that is the step forward to rectifying it, right? It's when you think you're playing well and you're not. That's when it's a problem. The fact that Ange knows that we didn't play well, I'm not happy with that's good. That means he knows. Our manager knows, and he will know how to fix it. Like, he will fix it. He's a good manager.
Can we be happy for once? Like, generally, I can't believe this. I thought that we were going to be top of the league. Everybody's going to be happy. It's going to be, but I generally don't think there's going to be any happiness.
We are happy that we won.
Did you not listen to my 10-minute speech about how I think we can genuinely be in a title race if we do this right? Did you not hear what I said? I actually think we could potentially be in this race.
He just heard Richarlison and his panties got in a twist. That's all it is.
Go back and watch what I said. Dan, dude, no disrespect to you, right? I'm not trying to disrespect you here. But as someone who's 44, just by age, I've seen a lot more football and a lot more titles than you, right? Just by age. It's not a disrespectful thing. I know when I see an opportunity. An opportunity has opened. One we never thought. And I don't want to see us fuck it up. If we fall short, which I think we will, but we gave it everything we had, dude, I can't fault it. But if I see us blow it because we didn't do the right things, I'm going to fucking lose my mind, because it means nothing has changed. And I'm just worried that path might happen. That's all. That's all I'm saying. I think Spurs could do something big. I'm really beginning to think that. I do. But I just don't want to see us sabotage it. I don't want us to be the reason we don't do it. I'd rather Man City are just far too good, and they've been doing it for far much longer than us, and we lost in the end to the better rival. I can take that. But if we lose in the end because of ourselves, I'm going to lose my mind. I'm going to lose my shit.
And can I say something about trusting Ange? Okay. Trusting Ange is not just saying I trust Ange. Trusting Ange is seeing that Ange has selected Richarlison for multiple games and seeing that he actually believes in Richarlison, therefore believing in Richarlison.
I'd argue that he's picking him because he's got no other choice. Solomon's injured.
Perisic injured.
Brennan Johnson is only just come back from injury. You don't put him in a starting lineup when he's only just come back. He's been cleared.
If you really wanted him.
Not if he's been out for 4 weeks.
He's got no choice.
When Perisic was fit, was Richarlison starting?
No,
he was on the bench.
Perisic would come off.
When Solomon was fit, was Richarlison starting? No, he was on the bench.
No.
Yes.
Richarlison started
on the bench,
and Perisic came off the bench.
What?
Yeah, Richarlison started
from the time the Sun got moved to striker.
Solomon started against Burnley when Perisic was injured, dude.
Richarlison spent 3 weeks on the bench.
You can't just bring up one game. I'm bringing up overall.
No, 3 weeks, 3 games. He was on the bench until Solomon got injured. The only time that Richarlison came back into the starting lineup was when Brennan Johnson and Solomon got injured. Fact.
Johnson started over Richarlison in the
2 games.
Derby.
That was 1 game. You can't just...
No, 2 games. Brennan Johnson, 2 games.
He got injured.
And the game before that, Richarlison scored a goal and an assist in the last...
Coming off the bench. He didn't start.
Yeah.
That's what I mean.
Dan, 1 minute. You're changing the argument. You're talking about goals scored now. You made a comment saying that trust Ange means trust the fact that he starts Richie. And Lee said no, he's starting Richie because everyone else is injured. And we're trying to prove that case. We're not talking about who scored goals. You're saying trust Ange means trust him starting Richie. I don't think, and I agree with Lee. I don't think he's got a choice. Everyone's been injured.
You're telling me if he really wanted to, he couldn't have started Brennan Johnson today?
He could have, but he didn't because Brennan Johnson's not fit enough yet. I don't think Brennan Johnson I don't think Richarlison starts against Crystal Palace.
All right, we'll see. I'll come back if Richarlison starts against Crystal Palace. But you have to admit that at that point, Ange Postecoglou is showing trust in.
No, absolutely not, Dan. If he starts against Crystal Palace, because Brennan Johnson, who's only just been cleared to play, has had no more than 10 minutes match after having 4 weeks out. That is not. He's not up to match fitness. It's as simple as that. So if he starts him, it'll be because he's not ready to start yet. He may well bring him on later, and we're still missing Solomon. We still haven't got Perisic. That's why. You don't just chuck him in there.
The next 3 games, in like a month's time, if Richarlison is still starting for Tottenham, then will you admit it?
If everyone's fit, then yes.
Yeah, if everyone's fit
absolutely.
and he keeps
If he
sitting in that
gets
position, then obviously Postecoglou thinks he's the best guy for that role.
Yeah, no, absolutely. If he plays him and other people are there and he's keeping that role for himself, he's keeping them out of the team, not because of injuries, in a month's time, absolutely. But he must be seeing something that we ain't, because
another thing,
I'm just not seeing
can
it.
we just admit from now that Richarlison was great today?
What?
No,
That's
we can't. And with that, we're ending the stream.
Dan, tell me 3 things that he did fantastic today. And I can give you 2 things. I haven't said he was shit today either. I said he did a job today. I didn't think he did too well, but there's still too many things that he's doing that are just not good enough. But tell me 3 things that he did good. And don't include the pass, because an 8-year-old could have made that pass. There was no pressure around him, and anyone could have made that pass. Piece of cake. He's not having that.
Okay, so take off Son's goal as well, because it was pretty straightforward. He was already through on goal.
Because Son had to beat a man.
What are you talking about?
Two defenders to make space.
2 defenders and curls it into the far post. He wasn't in on goal. He shot it from outside the box, Dan.
End the stream, Dave. End the stream, Dave. End the stream, Dave.
Oh yeah, just forget about it, because because it's Richarlison. Just forget about the pass, and there's no point in watching football. Just forget about football. Just forget about.
No, Dan. He as Stel said earlier, he was good defensively. He was getting in the headers in defence. So that's great.
And also, in the air, he's phenomenal.
Better than anyone else we've got in the air. That's not necessarily phenomenal, right?
Dan. When you say someone's great, that's like 9 out of 10, 10 out of 10. There's no way he put in a performance where
6.5 out of 10 at best.
Ovation from the fans. Dan, let me ask you this question. When he got substituted off, tell me why people in the stands were like, "Thank fuck." Tell me why that's the mood in the stadium.
Weren't working, but if I was in the stands, I would have given a standing ovation. That was a phenomenal.
Yeah, but you're the only one.
Well, then
I swear he's trolling us now.
Yeah, it's gotta be. He spent way too much time over there with the TFT fellas with Ngal and all them guys.
No, that's not the point. Richarlison was very good today. He was pressing. Will, when you laugh when I bring up that he has energy and he brings a different type of energy to the team when he's pressing, you seen it today. How many balls did he win in that first half when he was pressing the opposition's back line? I would say minimum 5.
I don't know. I'll have to look.
No, he did not. No, he didn't.
There's no way 5.
No, never in a million years. No.
Another
tell us. The SofaScore will tell us how many he had.
Richarlison finding spaces throughout the field was brilliant today. I don't know how you can sit here generally with a straight face, look at the camera and say Richarlison wasn't good today. I don't know how you can do it.
And you know what?
He had 1 interception down all game.
One interception, Dan.
1 interception and 1 tackle.
Game. And
that's
1
not,
tackle.
That's what I'm saying. Not an interception. I'm saying like running down, blocking the guy, winning a throw.
No, you said
blocks.
winning the ball. You said winning
the ball.
Look at the stat underneath it cracks me. The possession lost 17 times.
Yeah, 17 times.
Fucking hell, Dan. Please, man. Please.
But he's phenomenal.
So an interception is somebody
in 49 touches.
Dan. So Dan. Let's assume that your lie is real. Okay. Let's say
71% passing accuracy.
Let's say Dan. Let's say he won the ball 5 times. What you said. The data says he lost the ball 17 times. So 17 minus 5 means his overall performance was he lost the ball 12 times. That is great.
And he won 3 out of 7 ground duels.
No. I'm not changing the argument. This is your argument. We're not going to talk about anything else now. You said he won the ball 5 times. He lost it 17.
That's not
whatever good he did, he killed it because he lost the ball so many more times than what he won it.
Son had 37 touches and lost the ball 9 times.
That was because he was playing as a striker. Most of the times you get the ball, he was like either through and goal or
I don't know. Harry Kane tend to average around 15, 16 losses of possession per 90.
I can't hear you. My volume is low.
I said Harry Kane used to average around 15 to 16 losses of possession per 90. Son had 4 key passes, 83% possession, 37 touches, 3 for 4 of his dribbles.
And another thing to account is Son played less today than Richarlison.
No, they came off at the same time, bro. What are you talking about?
Dan,
That's right.
Dan, can you do me a favor? Dan,
sound like Stefan.
Can you do me a favor? Do me a favor. Can you change your name from D Mizzy to American Eagle?
Or American Stefan.
D Richie.
American Stefan. You've become the American Eagle.
Mari, the link is in the group chats, my man.
That was amazing stuff. That one really got me a little chuckle.
I think you're going down that road now. I think
guys,
you found that's your pathway forward.
I have to bounce. Stell, if you want to keep this rolling, keep it rolling. But I have to bounce out.
I'm going as well. I'm tired. I've been.
Mari, I think we're gonna end this one, Mari. Sorry, buddy.
We could talk about it on your show on Wednesday, Mari. On your
we got plenty of shows to do. But Dan, THSC, are you still doing YouTube, my man? Or are you just cruising?
I've taken a break, but I will be back. Like I want to say in a week or so.
A week or so. You've been gone for a while. I haven't seen a video from you in a while.
Some school stuff is getting in the way, man. But I should be back around like a week.
Good grades, man. It's important. Your grades are more important than your YouTube subscribers. But big up to Dan.
I wouldn't say more important than watching Richarlison, but
definitely more important than watching Richarlison. Absolutely more important than watching Richarlison. I will be over on Footy Judge Mo, 9 p.m. Eastern time, so in about 2 hours or an hour and 45 minutes.
Will, you're streaming again?
Yeah.
Fuck you know.
Already, this is my second stream of the day, and I've got a third one coming up. But yeah, I gotta go eat dinner and then take a little bit of a break. And we'll be over at Footy Judge Mo, 9 p.m. I'll be debating another Gooner. This one should be easy. I think they were all Martin. It's a guy named Martin. Apparently, he's a regular on Never Found, stuff like that.
Martin Odegaard.
Martin Odegaard, Ghostagard. But we will definitely be cooking him tonight, and so check that out. I don't think he's put it up on YouTube yet, so I can't redirect to it. But
he has put it up on YouTube.
Did he? It wasn't up there earlier.
I saw it like one before I came on the stream.
So let's see.
Everyone watching the show, make sure you are with us on Friday. We're doing the same format, pre-match show, then a watch-along, and then a post-match show on Friday for the Crystal Palace game. We should all be on that one, actually, because it's an away game, and none of us are going to the away game because none of us could get tickets. So we will be all doing that one.
But listen, thanks for having me on again. Just tone down your Richarlison agenda a little bit and just admire him for what he's a footballer, and that he is genuinely, he was very, very good today, and just appreciate being able to admire that excellence.
You know those people that go around the world, wherever Mourinho goes, they just support whoever Mourinho's with. Like they're called.
That's cap. I've been on this YouTube thing before Richarlison even joined Tottenham, so that's
no. But they're called Mourinho sexuals. Mourinho sexuals. Like wherever, if he goes to Roma, they support Roma. If he goes to Accrington Stanley, they support Accrington Stanley. If he becomes the manager of the USA, they support USA. They change their countries because wherever Mourinho goes. Dan, you are a Richie sexual. You know that.
Well, this is what I don't get. Out of all the players,
you are a Richie sexual.
Like, what is it about? Is it because you came so strong with it, and like you literally, Son used to be your favorite player? Like I remember, Dan. I have streamed with you, Dan, since you still talk like a little girl, right? Like before you even hit puberty, I was streaming with you, Dan. I remember, right? Why have you attached yourself to this Richarlison agenda?
Because he waved at me when I went to the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium.
Okay. See, I knew there was a bias in there.
Even before that, I was saying it, and what I'm seeing is true. You guys have like a target on his back. Every performance is, Richie.
No, I don't. I hope Richie
scores.
Had
a bad shot today.
Look,
Richie.
dude.
Son messed up a shot with Madison at one point. They both like.
No, Madison messed up Son's shot today, not the other way around. But But no, I hope that Richie finishes those 2 shots against Luton. I hope that Richie finished those 2 shots in the game against Liverpool. I don't want Richarlison to miss. I don't want you to miss. I don't want him to miss. Right?
He's got 4 assists this season, by the way. 4 assists this season so far.
It's good. I
Not
hope he
talking
gets
about
10
banging.
more. You know, I hope he gets 10 more. But he's got to start finishing his chances. At least put him on target. You know what I mean?
Is there a stat that tells you what level of quality the assist was, or not?
What?
Yeah.
Oh my
There's
god.
there's an XA. So
XA. Oh my god, I can't.
yeah,
No,
expected assist.
what I mean is when you see Perisic whip a ball in pinpoint
Absolutely.
accuracy to your
XA.
head, that's an
XAG.
excellent assist. Where someone passes it 5 meters to another player and then they go on a mazy run and score, it's like, really? Was that an assist?
100% XAG. Definitely, because that shows the quality of your chances that you're looking up. So I don't know if they put it in the lineup statistics. Let me see if they do. It'll be on FBref tomorrow. FBref doesn't do.
I agree with this. I agree with this comment. I agree with this. THFC for life. Richarlison needs to be on the bench and come on for energy towards the end of matches. Exactly what he did against Sheffield United. I totally
That's
agree.
what I've been saying for a while, though.
Well, then,
Since
if
last
that's the case, then he's not great. Then is he? If that's the case, then he's not great. Because if he's great,
he was great today. He was great today. Today he was great.
How's he great? He missed all his chances, Dan. How's he great if he missed all his chances?
One chance.
He missed
Over the
two.
crossbar.
He missed one in the first half.
Right there, but it was like a foot wide.
Difficult.
No, it was actually his highest XG chance of the whole game.
Dan, he didn't even hit the target.
Yeah, the one from the top of the D.
Actually, the second one was a hard chance, but the thing was why I remember
He's unmarked, unchallenged.
He's completely unmarked. But that's what it is. What it is.
Outside
I
the
have.
box. Oh my god.
Yeah, but it's so Sons, and he scored at top bins.
Dan, the header he scored.
Yeah, was outside the box.
The header he scored against Sheffield United was harder because he had to out jump and win a duel against somebody.
Yes,
he didn't have to do that in the 2 chances today.
His expected assist today, his XA today was 0.08, so only an 8% chance of getting an assist today. 8 out of 100 attempts, so it's pretty low.
The hell?
Where was the stat man? There you go.
But
Breaking
but
news.
yeah, I have linked the stream, so when this stream's end, there'll be a little tag that pops up in the live chat that says head over to Footy Judge Mode. The show won't start for a while, but you can hit the notification bell there if you want to watch me roasting a gooner tonight. Make sure you do smash that like button over there as well. We have to beat this Arsenal PR machine, and that is my mission this season. Right, every season I have missions. Last year it was to protect Heung-min Son. The season before that it was to protect Heung-min Son. But this year,
next season, can you protect Richie?
No, I don't take on missions I can't win.
If Richie,
I don't go on suicide missions, Dan.
If Richie hands in a transfer request, Dan, right? If he hands in a transfer request, I will fight tooth and nail for Richie because he's doing what's best for the greater cause of Tottenham. I will be 100%.
No, it's not. You can't tell me that.
I want Richarlison to score 13 goals this season.
Than an academy player. Because once Richarlison goes, who do we have at striker? Answer that question.
Velez.
So you're going to sit here and tell me that Alejo Velez...
One minute, but Richarlison doesn't score. He doesn't score.
He's playing right now.
Right, you could play me at striker and I'd be just as effective as Richarlison.
That's such cap.
I'm 6'5". I could head a ball. I could put a ball in the back of the net from the air just because of my height.
Well, my phone's literally about to die. But Will, before my phone dies, I have to tell you one thing. All right, this is a request from me. Right.
Okay.
Next time you're on a stream with Hassam, please expose him for being a Tottenham Hotspur Football Club hater. Because every time I see Hassam talk about Tottenham, it's always just complete hate.
I played his video at the beginning of the stream already, so.
I do it every day on Twitter, and I tag him in.
Generally, he has something.
But I called him out on Staffy's show the other day, and if I see him again, I'm going to play the video for him again as well. But
Liverpool fans in general, they're like that. They've been like that for 30, 40 years.
I think it has to do more with the VAR game. Every time he talks about Tottenham, you can hear him holding back tears. It's like
Spurs are falling off. There's an imposter amongst us, and it's definitely Tottenham Hotspur. They're falling off, bro. I don't think Spurs are going to do anything, to be honest with you, this season. These next 4 or 5 games, they're going to drop points 100%, starting with Fulham this week. Fulham are going to beat them in their own backyard. No Bissouma and no Son. Who's going to score a goal for them? Richarlison, Kulusevski. Spurs are crap, man. Spurs are going to fall off soon. They're extremely overrated.
I hear you can literally hear him holding back tears.
In the mud. In the mud, Hissam. I told Hissam on Savage Stream that you got to keep making these predictions because every time he does, it goes the exact opposite way of what he says. And there goes Dan's phone. He's out. But guys, that's it for today. Make sure you do follow the link over the follow on over to the redirect and hit your notification bell and smash the like up there for the show that I'll be on in an hour and a half. Final words, final thoughts. Leave you out where Charleston sucks. What do we got?
From me, 2 points. 3 points, 2 goals, clean sheet. One of the best goal differences in the league. Top of the table. I've got no complaints. I do smell a big opportunity growing. Please, Tottenham, don't fuck yourselves over. Let the competition be better. We can accept that. But don't be the reason we fail. That's all. That's my final words.
I was about to say what he said, but he beat me to it.
All right. Well, for me, final words. Look, beating Fulham at home 2-0 is not for everybody, right? It's not for everybody, especially everybody at the top of the table. It takes a real class, quality type of team to be able to go and get 3 points at home to Fulham.
With 11 men.
Arsenal couldn't do it. So big up the Spurs. Well, guys, we'll be back here on this channel Monday or Wednesday night. Today is Monday. Wednesday night with the Spurs Lounge with Mari and friends. Thursday night with the North London Czar show. That's going to be a good one. Make sure you guys are hitting that. Then Friday night, we've got the watch along for Crystal Palace. I will not be on that watch along, so that'll be Stelios and Iggy, I do believe, on that one. I'll be out of town for the next week after that. So my world tour of Mud and Arsenal is going to have to be put on pause for about 10 days, unfortunately. I'm disappointed, but it is what it is. Folks, thanks for watching. Make sure you are smashing that like and subscribe. And we will see you guys next time. We are out of here somewhere. I need to find the right video. There we go. Peace.
The first game we look for, Robbie. Tottenham away. When we got Tottenham away. Tottenham away. When we got Tottenham away.